Welcome, one and all, to this afternoon edition of Pacific414 Pop Talk. I'm your host, Mike, and today I am joined by the Smoking Patriot, also known as Common Sense America. Well, Common Sense America. How you doing,
Hey,
brother?
thanks for having me. I'm doing good. Just glad to be here. Thanks for having me back.
And we have someone else backstage. Let's see. Who are you and why are you here?
I am here to spread the freedom.
we're not
I love how he
spreading
says that in
freedom.
German
We're not playing.
I am here
Okay.
to
Careful,
spread the freedom. Oh.
Wait, this is a problem.
Careful. I've been rewatching Band of Brothers the last few days, and I might want to go after your crowd ass.
Okay, hold on. I'm still currently streaming in Twitch, so they're going to only
God.
hear one half of this insanity, and they're going to think I'm
God.
schizophrenic and speaking to my toaster.
You mean to tell me you came backstage while still on another stream?
Yes, I'm insane. Don't you know this?
Gosh. You're proving it every freaking day.
I'm having one of those weeks, bruh. I'm flying around spreading freedom.
Well, okay. You fly around, spread freedom and all that. Let me know in the private chat when you're ready.
Tricks is doing tricks things. Tricks. Mama always said a tricks will do what a tricks will do. Okay, wait, I'm flying. How am I alive? My whole team is dead. I'm not paying attention to this match. I'm just flying around. Derp. Oh, hello there. Hello there.
See you soon,
But
TKO. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
okay.
All right. So, welcome everybody to this special Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening edition of Pop Talk, depending on where you are. Tried to do this on Thursday, but StreamYards ended up changing my audio where after the first few minutes of you being able to hear me, you couldn't hear me at all. And I thought, well, I could change the audio back and get everything back to where it needs to go, but then that's already taken away from what I've already said, and I don't know how long it was before I realized that the audio had been switched between the time you could hear me and the time you couldn't hear me. So I said, screw it. I'm scrapping this episode and I'm rescheduling for Saturday. So, Common, Patriot, have you been keeping up with Gina Carano and the fact that she is now within Shapiro's Daily Wire production company and she's going to be filming a couple of projects for him?
Yep, I've been keeping an eye on that as best I can. I saw the thing the Daily Wire did. I guess when they did their live show thing this week, they actually had a video of Gina Carano. She was in Montana, and it's called Fear on the Prairie or something like that.
Terror on the Prairie.
Terror on the Prairie. That was it. Yeah, and I guess she said because they were like. Because she's like, oh, I don't want to do the whole vax, the whole vax and all that mandate and everything. And they're like, and not Ben Shapiro, but it's actually the head guy. I think it's Jeremy something. He even said, like, you're part of the union, though. Why Hollywood needs a union, only God knows. But he was like, you're part of a union. Like, you have to kind of abide by it. And she's like, screw the union. We'll leave the union. We'll go to Montana where they don't require anything. Because it was originally called Terror on the Road, Terror on the Ice. It was like originally named something different, I think.
Yeah, it was, and then because of all this talk about if you're not vaccinated, you can't go to certain places, yada yada yada. I don't want to talk about it too much on YouTube because of what YouTube ends up doing to channels that end up talking about it a little bit more than they should.
Yeah.
And I want to keep this channel going and not get into any trouble, even though it wouldn't be trouble because you'd just be talking about actual news, but they don't seem to see it that way.
No, that'd be way too much common sense to actually, see it objectively.
So this article is out of Deadline. It was published on the 12th, and yes, I know it's the 16th. I know it's 4 days later, but like I said, technical issues. And I am going to be talking about some of the articles I wanted to talk about on Thursday. So even if they're a little out of date by now, well, again, this is Thursday's broadcast on a Saturday. And that's the last you'll hear of me talk about it. So this is from Deadline. It's from Andreas Wiseman. And it says exclusive. While thriller White Knuckle continues to take shape, we can reveal that Gina Carano is underway on her first project since The Mandalorian. Under the radar Western Terror on the Prairie began filming this week. And of course, I don't care if it's a classic Western or a modern Western. If it's a Western, I'll watch it. I don't care. If it's good, I'll talk about it. If it's bad, I'll still talk about it and tell people to avoid it.
Yeah, makes
And
sense.
it goes on to say that Michael Polish, or maybe it's Polish, I'm not sure, it's one or the other, is directing the movie about a pioneering family that fights back against a gang of vicious outlaws that is terrorizing them on their newly built farm on the plains of Montana. Carano will lead the cast and produce. Among co-stars on the feature from the right-wing media company, I don't care, right-wing, left-wing, if it's a good movie with a good story, good characters, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
The Daily Wire.
That bugs me, by the way.
Yeah.
It really does.
It bugs me that they're continuing to put label on things. If you want to get past something, stop putting a label on it.
Yep.
It goes on to say the Daily Wire and Bone Tomahawk producer Dallas Saunier and Nick Searcy. MMA star Donald Cowboy Cerrone, stand-up Tyler Fisher, Heath Freeman, Skateland, and Samaria Armstrong. And of course, it lists what projects they were previously with. The plan is to first release the film exclusively to DailyWire.com members in spring 2022. The Hurt Locker outfit, Vulture's Pictures, is handling international sales. Also among cast are Travis Mills, Counting Bullets, Matthias Hughes, I Come in Peace, Reese Becker, Izzy Marshall, Jeremy Guana, and Thomas White Eagle. The movie will be Carano's first since a series of controversial social media posts saw her turfed from Disney's hit series, The Mandalorian, and dropped by the UTA earlier this year. Now, I am going to say something. I know there are going to be people that are going to watch this, and they're probably not going to like what I say, but the tweets that she made and the Instagram posts that she made, they're not controversial. They're historical facts of what happened close to 80 years ago. And I don't care that it's been 80 years. Those things still happen. They're still recorded in history. All she was pointing out was how eerie it is to events from 80 years ago to now. That's all I'm going to say on it.
Yep.
I'm not a political channel. I will voice my opinion on things. People like it. People don't like it. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
As we revealed, wait, you have something to add, brother?
No. I'm just 100% with you. You know, what she said was historical fact and how people are treating each other today and whatnot. And, you know, like it or don't like it, history is history. And just because you state history doesn't mean that it's any less true.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I'm going to say on it, because I could rant, but I'm not.
All I'm going to say is you could still go into parts of Europe where there were concentration camps, and those concentration camps are still standing. And you can also still find the foxholes that are young men dug themselves in to fight off the Germans.
Yep.
And there's plenty of videos available on this platform where you can also hear the eyewitness accounts from people who were there. Okay. Goes on to say the movie will be Carano's first. Yeah, okay, I already read that. As we revealed, the Deadpool and Fast 6 actress soon teamed up with Ben Shapiro's The Daily Wire. Terror on the Prairie is one of a slate of film and TV projects in development for the media company, which is also getting into distribution. Action movie White Knuckle, which we broke news of in August, it has been pushed back to Q1 2022. So, you're looking at March, April, May. Sonia is producing Terror on the Prairie with Amanda Presmick under their banner Bonfire Legend, marking a third collaboration for the firm with the Daily Wire. Pick was written by newcomer Josiah Nelson and cast by David Guglielmo. I'm probably not even saying that nearly as close. It says, and I'll admit it, there are certain names. It's like I'll give it a shot, but even I'm going to question whether it's being pronounced right or not.
I'm in the same boat with you.
It says Nelson, previously a client of Sonia's former management firm Caliber Media, sent the script to Sonia and Carano days before they greenlit it with Daily Wire co-CEO Jeremy Boring. Boring, along with his Daily Wire co-founders Ben Shapiro and Caleb Robinson, will executive produce alongside Nicholas Chartier and Jonathan Dector of Voltage Mills, and Daniel Cox also executive produce. Earlier this year, the Daily Wire announced its foray into entertainment with the acquisition of Kyle Rankin's Run, Hide, Fight from Bonfire Legend. According to the conservative media company, why don't you just call them a media company? Again, it's me thinking out loud too.
No,
the film
you're
drew...
right though. Sorry, go ahead.
No, fine. It's fine. I mean, the whole point of doing this or any live stream is if, I have a guest or I'm a guest somewhere and they want to say something, say it. I'm not going to censor you.
Yeah. By the way, Run, Fight, and Hide was, for anyone who hasn't seen it, and I do want to see it, I just got to find where I can get it. It's basically about a school shooter and the girl who, during this like school terrorism shooting kind of thing, basically wages kind of like a guerrilla kind of like, I don't want to say guerrilla conflict, we'll call it, the best way of describing it, against the school shooters. And her father was like a Navy SEAL or a Marine, something like that, and taught her like hunting, survival, that kind of stuff. And basically she has to take on the school shooters and everything. And that's what's called Run, Fight, or Hide, because those are your three options. You can either run from these people, which you're not guaranteed to survive. You can hide. So either way could be a bad choice, but those are your three options. Literally, it's either you run, or you hide, or you fight. So that's all.
Yeah,
it's all based on like a school shooting, basically. I've
seen the trailer for it, and it looks good.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty good. It's not obvious. It's not like a big name Hollywood director kind of movie thing, but I've heard that it's not a bad movie from the commentaries I've seen on it. It's not a bad movie at all. So,
all right. Okay, it says, according to conservative media company, the film drew 300,000 viewers during its live premiere on the site in January. Producer Dallas Sarnier said, with the precariousness of current Hollywood landscape and the remarkable overreach by its ruling class, we made the tough but prudent choice to ride further into the Wild West to make movies on our own terms. The Daily Wire has given Gina and our team all the support any producers could ask for. Now we must go make them proud by producing something that is truly great. Returning to my home state of Montana to direct a Western for Dallas and Amanda, a rare breed of producers who I truly respect, had tremendous appeal, added Polish. I'm saying Polish. Carano is rep by manager Scott Karp. Yeah, yada, yada, yada. Don't really care about all that. But yeah, again, I don't care who's starring it. I don't care what their political side of the aisle is. If the movie's good, then I'll recommend it to people. If it's bad, you kidding? I'll tear into that thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's the two things that really stood out to me was how many times this article kept calling the Daily Wire a conservative media company. That would that's like the equivalency of me saying CNN, that radical liberal leftist socialist company. I mean, again, like putting labels on stuff isn't necessary because you're doing it with the intent of causing division. You're not. The Daily Wire is a media company. Not if you've ever watched the roundtables that the Daily Wire does on YouTube, where they have Andrew Klavan, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, Ben Shapiro. They have them all on. They all might have an agreement to a certain point, but there will be certain areas they do not disagree with or have different perspectives on certain things. So calling them, yes, they are right leaning. That is not in dispute. But to label them as a conservative media company is just outright ridiculous because, again, once you start putting labels, where do the labels stop? And
they don't, unfortunately.
They don't, and that just pisses me off to no end. But another thing that I noticed when reading this with you here was that they're really trying to create an alternative to what Hollywood produces for films, because Terror on the Prairie sounds like an old school Western kind of plot, basically. A family living out in the kind of like the middle of nowhere, Montana, and you're getting this gangs of criminals and whatnot coming after you. That's like old school, like Western. And I don't know about you, but I love me a good old school Western. Even the ones that are okay, they can still be entertaining.
Like, yeah, it was like I was telling you on Sunday about Bone Tomahawk. I do highly recommend it. If you get a chance to see it, watch it.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm glad that they're doing this because and I don't always agree with Glenn Beck on everything. All right, I listen to him sometimes. I don't agree with him on certain things, perspective-wise or just flat out. But one thing he has stated, and this is a big thing he's been trying to do with the Blaze that he helped found, was create an alternative site to what Hollywood and TV puts out, because they're putting out a narrative regardless of what anyone thinks. He's like, we need to put out stuff that is contrary to what they're putting out, stuff that is wholesome, that is good, that is entertaining, and is not forcing political beliefs and ideologies down your throat. And I feel like that's what this is doing. This is literally just Gina Carano and with, the cast and crew portraying something that would have happened in the Old West in, say, the mid to late 1800s. Like, that's not politically based in any way. They're not saying, well, these are right-leaning anarchists that are out in the middle of Montana. No, it's the kind of stuff that I want Hollywood to go back to. Just give me a simple plot that is well done. No no pandering, no nothing. Just a simple plot that's well done. It's not rocket science, people. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. The wheel's already been done. So,
From my own standpoint, I'm tired of all these freaking labels that I see in newspaper articles, that I hear on the news when I do watch the news. I'm just tired of it. It's gotten old. It's gotten old very fast.
yeah.
And in my opinion, it feels like we're regressing too far back. Instead of progressing forward, we're regressing too far back, and there's going to be that point, if we've already gone past it, that we can't start going forward again because it's going to take too long.
It's tribalism is what it is.
Yeah.
And humans are tribalistic by nature, so that it never went away completely. But by openly calling it out, like open, like, all right. So there was this libertarian I was watching, and I'm not trying to get political with this, but this is just in terms of like how the tribalism and everything. He said that the problem is that everyone associates. So you could say, oh, you're on the right, you're on the left, you're in the center, but it's not as simple as that. You could be somebody on the right who's more leaning towards center. You could be somebody on the left who's leaning more towards center. You could be someone in the center that leans a little more right or left. And even within those groups, there's varying types of ideals and beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
But creating tribalistic mentalities doesn't help anybody. It doesn't further our entertainment. All it does is cause division. And
that's what they're trying to do, is cause division.
Yeah, I mean, was it last week, Pacific? I think we were talking about how like if you try to make even Tropic Thunder, you couldn't even make it in today's climate. Yeah,
you couldn't. Okay, like I was saying to you in Chaos, I've been watching Band of Brothers, rewatching it. You couldn't make that now. 20 years later, you couldn't make that now because, people on Twitter would be complaining about it and other groups would be complaining about it. Yet, there's clear evidence that the events that are depicted in the books that were written by men who were there actually happened.
Yep. And that's the thing. It's like, if there's one area that you should that I would argue should never be polarized, it should be your entertainment, because entertainment should just be that, entertaining. You shouldn't be trying to entertain the left or the right. If you're sci-fi, well, then, I mean, the areas of entertainment you could say you could call them tribalistic are genres. Action, sci-fi, horror, adventure, suspense, drama, categories that you put movies into. But in terms of the leanings politically of a movie, they should never exist. I mean, watch Rush Hour. Tell me if you see a political leaning message in that. Heck no.
I was going to say, the last time I watched it, I didn't see any.
Yeah, I didn't either. They're both ragging on each other. Jackie Chan's making black jokes to, ragging on, black people because he's trying to, fit in and whatnot with, with the culture that Chris Tucker, living in parts of LA, and then, Chris Tucker ragging on, making Asian jokes and everything. And guess what? I watched it. I didn't think, oh my God, I can't believe Chris Tucker said that. Or I can't believe Jackie Chan said that. No, I laughed my ass off because it was funny. It was comedy. Comedy is dead.
Well, you couldn't make a movie like White Girls now with the Wayans brothers.
You couldn't do that. You couldn't do anything Mel Brooks. Anything he did, you could never make today. I mean, this is where taking your entertainment and putting politics into it has led us to. And it's a path that could have easily been avoided. but it was forced down this road because people wanted it to. So now you have to have alternatives that just put out good content with no political messaging. They get demonized now, by conservative, because they're a quote unquote conservative media company rather than just a company that says, no, we just want good movies again. That's all we want. Movies with no political agenda. How hard is that? And Gina Carano's just a woman, correct? I mean, last I checked, she's a woman, an attractive woman.
She is.
At that. Very attractive, I would argue. So I've seen headlines and articles and statements on Twitter from people who are demonizing Gina Carano. And it's like, I thought it was women power, feminism, go woman. Well, here you're going to have a strong female lead in her own movie. Isn't that supposed to be the pinnacle of your ideology and basis then? Yet you demonize her.
Yep. And then you have just the opposite, where you keep hearing these rumors, and I'm going to keep specifying that they are rumors. We don't know if they're actually fact yet, but the rumors about Indiana Jones 5. Not that I want to go see a 5th Indiana Jones movie. As far as I'm concerned, there are only 3. But the rumors that you keep hearing about Indiana Jones 5, where it involves time travel and it involves Phoebe Waller-Bridge becoming the next Indiana Jones. One, I don't go to an Indiana Jones movie to see Indy encounter aliens or time travel. I go to see him look for a lost relic, something that we've heard about throughout the years, and he's actually going out there looking for it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, one of the reasons I enjoyed the 3 movies is because they were an action adventure. They weren't action adventure sci-fi.
Yep. Yeah. Indiana Jones is they're trying to destroy what was once good. Look at it with Star Wars, look at it with Star Trek, look at it with Lord of the Rings, look at it with Indiana Jones.
I was actually going to talk about the Lord of the Rings Amazon series as well. So, I've watched the Lord of the Rings movies, Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, Return of the King, and I've watched one of the 3 Hobbit movies. And I've thoroughly enjoyed each and every one of them. I've only started reading the books. So, what I've got to say about that is, don't take what Tolkien wrote and then try to interpret it in your own way. Read what he wrote and then try to interpret it into a script. Translate it into an actual TV or movie script. And of course, they've already done the movie, but honor the man's work. Don't change it into something it's not. Don't do what they're doing with Star Wars and Star Trek and Doctor Who.
Yep. Yep.
But before we get to that, now this is from last night. I know somebody's going to go, he already announced. We know. But last night on comicbook.com, they had reported that Michael Caine reveals retirement from acting at age 88. However, there's this article, and I'm not even going to bother reading the comicbook.com because according to this article that was released this morning, let's try to share it. And this is coming from the Wrap. No, Michael Caine is not retiring after bestsellers. It says the 83-year-old representatives refute reports of his retirement from acting. It says that we have not seen the last of Michael Caine on screen after all. While the legendary actor made waves Friday when an interview surfaced in which he said the recently released comedy drama Bestsellers would be his last film. The Rap has confirmed with Cain's representatives that he is not fully retiring. Regarding retirement, I've spent 50 years getting up at 6 a.m. to make movies, and I'm not getting rid of my alarm clock, Cain said in a statement provided to the Rap. The hubbub over Cain's retirement came about after an interview with Simon Mayo surfaced in which he hinted that Bestsellers might be his final film. Funnily enough, it has turned out to be my last part. Really, said during the interview. Because I haven't worked for 2 years and I have a spine problem which affects my legs, so I can't walk very well, and I also wrote a couple of books which were published and were successful. So now I'm not an actor, I'm a writer. Okay, so maybe he was, just in talk, say because of his current age and also the difficulty of walking, he's found something else to keep himself occupied, keep himself interested, a new hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Many have been expecting Cain to have some sort of role in Christopher Nolan's next film, Oppenheimer, which chronicles the life of J. Robert Oppenheimer and starts shooting next year with Cillian Murphy in the lead. Cain has appeared in all Nolan's films since Batman Begins, even making a voice cameo in 2017's Dunkirk. So getting back to Dunkirk real quick before I move on ahead, I thought that was real good.
Yeah, I love Dunkirk. I mean, it's a movie that you watch not because of the incredible lines, or even you could even say the visual effects. It's kind of more of just watching history unfold and the experiences these people went through, from the soldiers on the beach, the soldiers on the dock trying to get off, to the pilots, to the very few RAF pilots that were trying to keep the skies clear, so that way the troops on the ground weren't getting strafed constantly, to the civilian boat owners.
You're breaking up, brother. You're breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay, sorry. So
That's
to like
right.
the civilian boat owners and everything, like seeing all these perspectives of how the evacuation at Dunkirk happened, it was just, it hit you in the feels, like, and what's sad is, to me at least, a well done war movie will hit me in the feels so much deeper than any drama can, because there's so many dramas out there. And yes, there are a lot of war movies, but a well-made war movie can hit you in the feels like no drama can. Like Saving Private Ryan, that hits me in the feels every time. And I know it's not like historically accurate in terms of a very specific character or whatnot, but The Patriot, I cry every time I watch that movie, because that one moment when they're fighting the British and you see the colonial troops, they're retreating, and Mel Gibson, he wants his revenge. He wants it. He sees the guy. He's within a pistol shot of him, but then the one French guy turns to him and says the line is breaking. So he sees the line and he has to choose: do I get my revenge, or do I go and hold the line? I have one of two choices. I cannot have both right now. And him screaming away, and he grabs the flag, and it's the whole follow the flag. If the flag's standing, you go where that flag is kind of mentality in the military. And he's there, and he's just screaming, hold the line, and he's waving the flag, and the music, and just that moment. It gets me teary-eyed every time, because it's that patriot in me that's like, no matter what's going on. And this, by the way, I'm just going to say this can apply to your life. Hold the line. Wherever you are in life, hold the line. Like that's it speaks to me at a very almost spiritual level of hold the line in a military battle sense, but hold the line in your life. You know, you're going through shit. Don't keep falling back. You hold the line. Because eventually one of two things is going to get either you're going to give up or the enemy's going to give up. And I'd rather hold the line and know I did my best than keep retreating and live in regret the rest of my life. So that military movies speak to me on a very deep level than most dramas can.
Yeah,
so,
and
sorry, that's
getting
a bit of a
back
tangent.
to,
Sorry.
that's all right, because I was just gonna say, getting back to Band of Brothers, you know, with the way that movie was shot and the way that movie was acted by everybody who was in it, and the information that they got from the actual survivors as they were making it, you know, it really gives you the sense of the danger that they were actually in when they went out there. You know, you really feel like you're with the 506 as they're being attacked by the Germans, as they're making that drop from the plane down to the ground. And, you know, you hear stories about guys who would make it safely to the ground, no problem, and they would lose a buddy of theirs because they crashed into a tree. Because you got to also take into effect that a lot of these drops were done during the night, so your vision's impaired. But, you know, just watching it, and then, you know, even before the episode starts, hearing the stories being recounted by the guys that were actually there, it hits you, because you know those guys went through hell.
They really did, yeah. Yep. And if you know anybody who's ever been in a battle, and I'm talking from World War II all the way up until, you know, yesterday or what have you, you know, if you know anybody that's been in any kind of combat, talk with them and hear them describe the battle. They will describe it like you're reading a movie, like you're reading a detailed movie script, because they'll tell you everything about that moment. They won't just say, "Oh yeah, my aircraft got shot down." They'd be like, "Man, you know, I was flying at, you know, 18,000 feet, you know, and I the plane got hit. I don't know how he hit me, but I could smell the smoke, so I pulled my ejection." I mean, they go into detail that it just when you listen to it, it's like you're on the edge of your seat, and this person just telling you how they survived a battle. But you're like, "Tell me more. Tell me more." You know, it's, you know, damn. I gotta watch Band of Brothers now again for the 12th, 13th time.
That's how it was for me. 19 years ago this month, my father and I went to a reunion for the 486th Bombardment Group, and that was the group that my grandfather was part of. Well, the only surviving member of my grandfather's B-17 crew was his navigator. And it was a chance for me to meet him and, you know, hear stories about my grandfather during that particular period of time. Well, we're there at this reunion, and it's me and maybe 5 other guys around my age who are the youngest ones there. And all these veterans were impressed that the 5 of us were there, and we were there to listen to what they had to say. It said that spoke volumes to them. It spoke volumes to them because it showed them that what they did was important. You don't have to tell them it was important. Of course it was important, but to them it mattered. It mattered that another generation wanted to learn what they had to say. And unfortunately, there aren't very many World War II vets left, and we have to take the time now to listen to them, hear them tell their stories about what happened when they were there, and document it while we still can. And I do want to say hello to Star Wars Theology and Whoopa Troopa. Thank you, gentlemen, for popping in. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, just sorry. Sorry.
You're okay.
Damn it, just lost my train of thought for a second. Oh, yeah, that's right. So going off of his point about the whole practical CG and all that, what's the Act of Valor? You ever heard of the movie Act of Valor?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. I've seen it.
Okay, so there's. Oh, you said okay. So I don't know if you know this, but in that scene when the squad has the woman and they're bringing her out and they crash the water in and you see those boats come and they're just unloading everything they've got. Did you know every single shot was an actual live tracer?
I didn't know
It
that.
was not blanks. It was CG because the director, someone told him and said, he's like, you want this scene? Let me show you something. So he showed him video of tracer fire, actual live ammunition tracer fire. He's like, hold on. Everyone stop. I want this entire scene, every round that they shoot to be actual tracer. They're like, sir, that's going to be a lot more. I don't care. I don't care if we have to, how much of the budget we got to blow, but I want this scene to be actual live round tracer ammo. Because he wanted that feel, the authenticness that CG could never bring. And so when you see the miniguns and you see all these guns unloading, that was all live ammunition. That was not blanks. That was not CG. Like that just tells you how well practical effects can be.
And another thing, getting back to the 506 and everything. I was watching a video just yesterday where a gentleman went back into Holland, and to this day, some of those buildings that are still standing, you can still see where the bullets hit, and it just lets you know that yes, this did happen, regardless of what other people try to say. World War II happened. The Holocaust did happen. It's up to all of us to try to prevent it from happening again. Now, that's my opinion. Someone's going to disagree on that, but it's my opinion that it's up to all of us to make sure it never happens again.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like that classic line, or not classic line, but classic saying: "Those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it."
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you, but the 20th century certainly had a lot of F's. A lot of big effing things that happened that were messed up. And I don't want to repeat them ever again if I have strength in my body to prevent it. Because nobody should have to go through any of that stuff again. Nobody should have to.
No, I mean, you had 2 world wars. You had the Korean War. You had the Vietnam War. You had, Desert Storm.
Mm-hmm. But I'm just talking World War II because of the atrocities carried out during World War II. I mean, just even go the Holocaust. That alone should make people want to be like, oh, holy, yeah, we should probably learn the lessons as to how that happened so we don't ever repeat them again. Yeah, I know that I've seen, and I've actually been to a Holocaust museum. It was a small one. It was a youth event in Miami when I part of the youth group that I went to back in Florida when I was a kid, and we went to this thing called Acquire the Fire. It's a big youth rally and everything, youth Christian rally. Well, we're in the parking lot, we're sitting down, we're eating public subs. The guy bought them in mass, and then I see 2 of the youth leaders walk down about a half mile down the road. Gone for about 10 minutes. They come back to the youth pastor. They whisper in his ear. He goes over there, walks back with them. And he says, all right, everybody, drop what you got, finish eating. We're going to go over here. We didn't know where we were going. It's a small Holocaust memorial. They have photos of actually of the Holocaust. They have actual photos there. They have this big it's like soul-stealing black like statue-esque kind of thing.
Mhm.
And the only way I can describe it, imagine if you could feel darkness. That's what it felt like. Only right there was a darkness that was almost tangible. And as you just were walking and you're seeing it, there was this heavy darkness. You could just, again, that's the only way everyone I knew there could describe it. And to see the actual photos of the Holocaust during and some of the stuff after that we've discovered,
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about a life-changing experience, just that alone. That's the stuff I don't want to ever repeat again.
No.
Ever.
No, it's sobering is what it is. I mean, when you see anything like that, when you see recreations of, the concentration camps, the gas chambers, and it just makes you realize how ugly we can be. Yes, we're great when we're united, working, for something, that's greater than ourselves, working for the same cause. But that's why you have to always, keep history in mind to remind yourself how ugly we can be and to make sure we're not that way again. We need those
Yeah.
constant reminders because we quickly forget it.
Yeah. Long-term memory sometimes isn't the best thing for humans.
No, especially now. Especially now, everything is on the short term.
Yeah.
So, getting back to this article, it says so. No, I don't mind doing this. The whole point of Pop Talk is to, of course, talk about pop culture and, things that are going on in Hollywood, but we can also talk about things like we've been talking about because it's related to what we're talking about when we have seen documentaries made on the subject matter, movies made on the subject matter, TV shows made on the subject matter.
Yeah. And they should be talked about.
Mm-hmm. They shouldn't just be brushed aside or swept under a rug. They need to be talked about and talked about in the open.
Mm-hmm.
But the article goes on to say, so while the actor's comments are being interpreted as a retirement announcement, Cain's representatives assure the rep that reports of his retirement are not true. Cain started acting in 1950 and has racked up over 130 film credits to his name thus far, winning Oscars for his turns in Hannah and Her Sisters and The Slaughterhouse Rules, and scoring 4 additional Oscar nominations. The actor's most recent role is that of a cranky author in the aforementioned bestsellers, which was released in September, and he reached a whole new generation with his role as Alfred in Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy, opposite Christian Bale. So, yeah, from what it looks like, Michael Caine is not retiring anytime soon because he's Michael Caine. All right, I know that's a bad impression, but you'll get those on here too. I'm just trying to liven the mood. But yeah, so Michael Caine, he's going to continue acting, and who knows, he may even do more voice acting.
Yeah, if anything else, I think he would do more voice acting than anything else because it puts a lot less strain on his body. Because, like he even says in the article, he doesn't have much leg strength. It's very hard for him to walk. He's got spinal issues. Well, a lot less effort for him to have to do voice acting, than it is to actually portray a role where you might only get him for a short period of time because of his health issues.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to see him in a lot more voice roles,
So would I.
keep it alive. So.
And got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Have you not seen Squid Game?
I don't have Netflix. I got rid of it after the cuties thing. So
I don't have Netflix either, but a lot of people have been talking about it. And I had seen an article where it says Squid Game creator reveals that former President Trump and inspired pretty much one of the characters in this whole series. So
I've heard there's supposedly an anti capitalist esque message in it, but I like what Tim Pool said. So by the way, for everyone listening, if you support Nerdrotic, go watch Tim Pool's episode he did last night live. He had Nerdrotic on. So go check that out just to support Nerdrotic and let Tim Pool know that, hey, guys like Nerdrotic, maybe get Garrett, maybe get Jeremy, Geeks and Gamers on there, what have you. Get them on there too, because that kind of exposure, I think, helps us out as we try and stand out from the woke media and everything and try and create good content and everything. But anyways, Tim Pool said last night, because him and Gary were talking about Squid Games, and Tim Pool brought it up from the aspect of, I think it's anti-communist, because during the show, from the way I've heard it explained, everyone's equal. As you're doing the Squid Games, everyone's equal. You get equal food, equal everything. Nobody is allowed to stand out from the rest. It's very communistic. And Tim Pool's like, yeah, it's basically a way of knocking communism by saying, yeah, here, if you want communism, this is kind of what it's going to be like. Everyone's equal.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, you might have really talented people, but they're not allowed to stand out unless there's punishment. So, again, I haven't seen it. I'm just going off of the people that I've watched review it. So, take that for what you will. That's one perspective.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either, so I can't really say whether it is, whether it isn't. I don't know if I am going to watch it, possibly. And this is something I tried to mention when I first did the broadcast on Thursday, and then, everything went the way it went. But I might end up watching it when I watch season 4 of Cobra Kai, because I do want to see season 4 of Cobra Kai, but I don't feel like selling the high seas to do it. So I will bite the bullet and I will reactivate my subscription just so I can review Cobra Kai. And if there's anything else like Squid Game on there that piques my interest, I will watch it. I know that might make some people go, but why, Mike? Like I said, I don't feel like selling the high seas.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. I don't blame you there. I mean, I just have no vested interest in anything Hollywood does on Netflix. And I think they've done their own movies that I absolutely love, like Outlaw King. It's like modern day Braveheart kind of stuff. And they had some great original content that I liked, but like I said, after Cuties, it's like that's a pretty big mark against you, no matter how much I might want to see Squid Games or even Cobra Kai. It's like Cuties is some effed up stuff, and because it's still up there, why should I? It's there's two differentiating views, and tell me if you agree with this, Pacific, because I don't know, you might not. So, but I've heard one argument say punish them, don't do your stuff. they still screw up with cuties. It's still on there. You can still watch it to this day. And then the other side says, yes, they screwed up with cuties, but they've done right with Cobra Kai and with Dave Chappelle and with and with Squid Games. So you can't you have to, if you still support them, then what you're saying is we want content like that. We want the Cobra Kai, the Dave Chappelle, the Squid Games. We want that. Even though there is the cuties, you still got to give them a sort of reward still. The problem is your cuties is dealing with little kids, little girls.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't really begun to even enter a puberty like state yet. I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts?
You broke up there at the last moment.
Oh, I said that I don't know what to think. Like, I don't want to support them because I don't want that, because I've got a little niece nephew, and the thought of like her, like a girl her age, being proudly twerking and doing all these super suggestive sexualized things during an entire movie, just it makes me want to vomit, and it also makes me want to drop nukes on people at the same time.
Because
but they've also
been able to even be edited, let alone produced.
No, I agree.
Somebody needed to step in right away and say, we're not doing this. We're dropping the project right here, right now.
I mean,
somebody
I don't
needed
even
to do
know,
it, but they didn't do it. And like I said, I don't want to sell the high seas to watch Cobra Kai.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of risk involved with that. But on the other hand, I still don't want to give Netflix money. But again, I want to see Cobra Kai season 4.
Yeah.
But is that enough? Is that enough for me to actually renew my subscription on December 31st? I don't know. Let's get to December 31st and I'll let you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people struggle with that still. Those that have the subscription still, is they struggle with, you really effed up with cuties. You really effed up with some other stuff. Like, to the point where you should be in prison being flogged for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
But you've given us great content just as equally with Cobra Kai, Dave Chappelle, and Squid Games. So, some people are willing to say, well, it's like a double-sided coin. You either to get it all or you don't. You either get the good content with the bad content and whatnot. If the bad content was just, say, a borderline porno movie that's like super graphic violence, tons of nudity and like graphic sex and whatnot, I'd say, okay, you're pushing it, really. That's kind of stuff that should be on like porn sites or something like that. But it's a consenting adults at least,
Mm-hmm.
Cuties is not that. And that's the problem I have. I can't get that. That's one thing. It's like, I don't know how I get past that one roadblock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now if they took tomorrow, I'm getting Netflix tomorrow. I just don't like the sexualization of little girls. And I don't care about Cobra Kai, Squid Games, Dave Chappelle, mix all those together. It still does not make up for what you've done with cuties, in my mind.
Exactly.
And they haven't felt repercussions, because the problem is with everyone hearing about the Dave Chappelle thing, guess what's going to happen? People will be like, well, I got to go see Dave Chappelle, or I got to go see Squid Games. So they're going to go on to Netflix.
Yeah, they're going to re-up their subscription if they haven't already.
Exactly. So the whole cuties thing never existed then. Even though you can find it right now, all that anger you had about cuties, you just threw all that grandstanding away just so you could go watch this stuff.
Yeah. And even along the lines, you hear people say, well, I'll, use a friend's account. you're still supporting Netflix in a way by using their account.
Mm-hmm.
You may not be paying for it directly, but you're still supporting them by watching the content that's on their service.
Mm-hmm. You know, they got to feel punishment, and punishment, punishment comes by them losing shit tons of money, and they know they can put out the kind of content that will keep drawing people in.
Mm-hmm.
So, what punishment does Netflix get?
Right now, it's not
You
getting
know?
any punishment. Right
Yep.
now, it's being rewarded because of Squid Games. Right now, everybody's hearing about it, so they're going, "It's on Netflix. Okay, I'll watch it."
Yeah, I mean, at least with a good comparison, I feel like is like the whole thing with the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
NFL started going really woke, really political. What happened to their numbers several years straight? They tanked every year steadily. They were losing not tiny amounts, but large amounts of viewers, to where they started feeling it financially. To now, it's nowhere near like it used to be. It's still there. Don't get me wrong, it's still there, but it's way less, and they hide it as best they can, so that way the average Joe Schmo doesn't notice it. So they're like, oh, you got rid of it. No, you didn't. No, they didn't get rid of it. They just don't actively show it now. That's how, but at least the NFL knew that they had effed up and were trying to at least turn it around in some way. Although with the whole John Gruden thing, I think they might have screwed themselves over again. If you even look even a tiny bit into that whole thing, there's a major problem there.
I was going to say, are you sure about that?
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, the whole John Gruden thing, you can John Gruden because he sent private emails to somebody joking around, and you demonize him for that. But I think they collected somewhere along the lines of like 650,000 emails, and they only released like a handful of them that just happened to be to John Gruden, who happened to say things they didn't like. But now there's a massive call for release all the emails. Mm-hmm. You're going to call out John Gruden. Let's see what all y'all else got to say. See what everyone else has to say, player and coach and owner alike. Let's see what y'all got to say. You think John Gruden's this evil man? Let's see what y'all got to say, huh? Let's see. Are you also innocent and clean?
The sad thing is, they all do it. They may not admit it openly. They're not going to do that, but they all do it.
Yep. And that's the thing that these places need to take a hit financially, because you can't you can't be like, let's raise up an army against them and wage war. It's not like back in the medieval days when, oh my gosh, our local lord is oppressing us. To arms, everybody! And you'd pick up whatever you could as a weapon, and you'd form a ragtag army and try and take on the lord, so you could get some element of justice and whatnot. That's what you would do. But in today's day and age, money is what talks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is today. You can't raise up an army and go take on the NFL. You can't. The way you do raise up an army is you raise up an army of people who won't watch it, who won't buy anything NFL related, who won't buy things in any way, so gives money to the NFL. That's how you fight back.
Well, I know I haven't supported the NFL since the Chargers left San Diego in January of 2017.
I haven't watched the NFL actually in several years, just because I got tired of the wokeness. I'm like, I don't need to be preached to. My Dolphins already suck enough as it is. I don't need to be getting depressed and now raging angry because you're preaching political stuff blatantly right in front of me. I don't need that too.
No, nobody does.
So, I mean, it's just...
I mean, even looking over this article, I'll go ahead and read it now. But this is coming out Bounding into Comics, and it's by Josh Berger. And he's saying, Hwan Dong-hyuk, the creator of Netflix's popular Korean survival drama Squid Game, has recently revealed that he drew inspiration from Donald Trump to materialize his ideas for the critically acclaimed show, claiming that the former president's administration felt like a game show.
Yeah.
I conceived of the theories for the show in 2008. Don Hugh recently told, and again, if I'm mispronouncing his name, I do apologize. I'm not doing it on purpose. He recently told IndieWire, at the time, there was the Lehman Brothers crisis, the Korean economy was badly affected, and I was economically struggling. The Squid Game creator went on to explain that over the past 10 years, there were a lot of issues. There was a cryptocurrency boom where people around the world, especially young people in Korea, would go all in and invest all their money into cryptocurrencies. And there was a rise of IT giants like Facebook, Google, and in Korea, there's Naver, and they are just restructuring our lives. He added, pointing out that it's innovative, but these IT giants also got very rich. According to Hyun Don Hyuk, Squid Game's rich and villainous VIPs were mainly inspired by Donald Trump, more specifically after he became the 45th president of the United States. I can't say I'm surprised there. That's pretty much been the narrative for Hollywood the past 4 years.
Yep. Yep.
To provide further context, for those who may not be familiar with Squid Game, VIPs are insanely wealthy and corrupt characters. Okay, well, most of them are. In my opinion, most of them are. It's not just a fictional story and a TV show. It's actual life. Corrupt characters that are introduced near the end of the show's first season who wear expensive looking animal masks and bet on participants of the show's impimness. And no, I've never been able to say that word correctly. Competition. And then Donald Trump became the president of the United States. And I think he kind of resembles one of the VIPs in Squid Game. The creator and director of the popular Netflix series explained. He later added, it's almost like he's running a game show, not a country, like giving people horror after all these issues happen. I thought it was about time this show goes out into the world. Han Don-hyuk does not really reveal why exactly he believes that former President Donald Trump is the embodiment of the greedy and villainous nature of the VIPs in his popular Netflix series. Was the Squid Game creator not aware that the 45th President of the United States promised during his presidential campaign that he would be turning down the $400,000 annual U.S. presidential salary were he to be elected? The first thing I'm going to do is tell you that if I'm elected president, I'm accepting no salary. Okay. I know I should have done that in a Donald Trump voice. Maybe I'll read this next part in a Donald Trump voice. Donald Trump said in September of 2015, ahead of the 2016 presidential race, adding, that's no big deal to me. It's no big deal for me. There you go. There's my Donald Trump. Yeah, I'm gonna be silly on here. I'm gonna be goofy on here just to try to keep the mood light, and this way we're not all depressed and going, well, back in our day, movies were like this.
Dad, you want some whiskey? No, son, one of them days. Give me the gasoline. Give me the moonshine. I said gasoline, damn it.
Exactly.
Chugs it. That's the stuff.
Son, is this regular or premium? Whatever it is, it's good stuff.
Let me see. He just takes a swig. That's some big quality shit right there. I tell you what. Oh. You gotta laugh. You gotta find humor wherever you can. Otherwise, life's miserable.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying I'm gonna interject humor here and there, and it may be at a point you're not even expecting it, but I'm gonna try to do it just to keep the mood light.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you want me to drag you all down to hell, I could do that too. But I'd rather not.
We've hit several topics already. We could easily just already be smelling fiery sulfur. So, you know.
Fly above the clouds, boys.
Yeah.
All right. The article goes on to say some of the agency Trump donated his presidential salary to include the Department of Interior's National Park Service, the Department of Education, the Small Business Administration, the Department of Agriculture, the National Institutes of Health's National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, the Department of Homeland Security, and the Department of Veterans Affairs, to name only a few. What do you make of Juan Donhugh's comments about the villainous VIPs in Squid Game being based on Donald Trump? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below or on social media. I think he was just following the trend that everyone else in Hollywood was following, and since they didn't agree with Trump and his policies, amongst other things, they just painted him as a villain. That's my opinion.
Basically.
Hello, you beautiful bastards.
Hello.
He lives.
Well, I mean, I just finished up. What did I miss? Fill me in on the stupidity that I've missed, because I know you guys are talking about stupidity on Pop Talk, because pop culture currently is stupid.
We've talked about all sorts of. We've talked about all sorts of shit. I've kind of lost count of everything we've already fucking talked about.
Oh, okay.
We've just finished talking about how the Squid Game's creator modeled one of the characters in his show after Donald Trump, making him a villain.
Oh.
And then we were talking about Gina Carano beginning filming on Terror on the Prairie, and of course, in that article, they like to point the political labels on there, and I said to Patriot, I said, enough of these labels. Just give me good entertainment. That's all I want. Damn it. That's all I fucking want.
Quick question, because I got to run to the microwave to nuke my sandwiches. Did you guys speak on how Joe Rogan literally proved in front of the world how full of shit CNN is?
No, because I'm not political, and that to me kind of borderlines on political.
I mean, it is pop. Just wondering. Okay. Oh. Well, then I guess I will show you guys that after stream then.
I have already seen it. I have already seen it.
Okay.
I've already seen it.
I'm like, gotcha, bitch.
Yeah.
So we may have a fourth member joining us later on when we join up for some War Thiggity Thunder destruction.
Oh?
Yes.
What's her name?
I'm not sure whether it's a her or a him.
I was trying to joke and be like, it's like,
what's their name? What's their name?
Yeah. It's like, hey guys, I'm bringing your friend to the party. Oh, what's her name?
I have a question. Since you were mentioning, political, I'm like, so are we or not allowed to discuss Dave Chappelle's current special and the stupidity?
I am only bringing that up because it's in pop culture, Hollywood entertainment news.
Okay, because
if it's associated with that, I will bring it up only because it's in that spectrum.
Have you guys watched the special?
I have not watched the special because I do not have Netflix right now. And it's like I'm saying to Patriot, I'm conflicted because I want to watch season 4 of Cobra Kai at the end of December, but I also don't want to give Netflix any more of my money because of cuties.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I will be right back. I'm going to nuke this, and then I will be able to tell you guys that I went into the special at the how their community was reacting. I was expecting far worse than what I saw. I'm like,
I will say this. From the clips I saw, and this is just my opinion. I know people are going to flame me for my opinion, but I don't care. It's just being blown out of proportion.
way out of proportion. It's like they
Yep.
got a splinter. Oh my god, you chopped my arm off. You got a wood splinter from chopsticks. Oh my god, my arm fell off. I'm like, but what he's saying is true though. Oh my god, you literally cut off my arm. You have a splinter in your pinky. Wow. Like I was like, what did he say that was so bad?
Yeah.
And I am mind blown at how because I watched the entire thing.
Well, people, they're butthurt because even his last special, people are still butthurt.
No. Okay. I'll discuss why I think they're butthurt when I get right back because I'm like, it's oh my god. Okay, I'll be right back.
Sounds like we got a juicy take here then.
Yeah, from someone who actually has seen the special, but like I said, from what I have seen, I think everything's being blown out of proportion. And I know I'm going to get flamed for it. I don't care. It's being blown out of proportion. Because it goes back to the old adage, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Or does it in this case?
Mm-hmm.
Because in this article, Dave Chappelle gets standing ovation amid Netflix special controversy. If this is what being canceled is, I love it. After being called out for transphobic jokes in The Closer, the comedian performed at the Hollywood Bowl in front of Brad Pitt, Tiffany Haddish, Stevie Wonder, and dismissed the outcry of F Twitter. This is real life. And this is by Chris Gardner. It said, amid a swirl of controversy around his new Netflix special, The Closer, Dave Chappelle took center stage Thursday night at a star-studded and sold-out show at LA's iconic Hollywood Bowl. Though the superstar comedian did not repeat any of the jokes that have been loudly rejected by members of the LGBTQ community and GLAAD and the National Black Justice Coalition, he thumbed his nose at the notion of cancel culture while also promoting messages of kindness and love. Chappelle shared the marquee with a screening of his untitled Dave Chappelle documentary and 118-minute film directed by American Factory Oscar winners Steve Wagner and Julia Reichardt that offers an inside look at last year's summer camp series mounted at Warwick Pavilion near Chappelle's home in Yellow Springs, Ohio. The more than 50 shows served to reinvigorate the small town during dark days in the COVID-19 pandemic as it played host to his circle of famous friends. Some were on the bill tonight, including Snoop Dogg, Talib Kweli, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, DJ Jazzy Jeff, Stevie Wonder, poet Amir Sumerian, Nas Lizzo, and St. John Hamm, comedian Jeff Ross. Yes, I'm still reading the article. Comedian Jeff Ross kicked off the program with a short set followed by a screening of the film, which one attendee described as moving. Then came Chappelle dressed in a suit with his wife and a cigarette in hand for the main event that saw him being heralded at the mic on numerous occasions as the greatest living comic.
Wait,
if this is
Sylvian?
what being canceled is like, I love it, the 48-year-old said in response to a standing ovation. The line and many more like it was greeted by rapturous applause from the crowd, which included a masked Brad Pitt, Tiffany Haddish, Donald Rawlings, Chuck Lorre, Sterling K. Brown, and others. At another point, he was more blunt. Fuck Twitter, fuck NBC News,
Yep.
ABC News, all these stupid ass networks. I'm talking to them. I'm talking to you. This is real life. But that is precisely what the LGBTQ community and, in particular, trans women have objected to after Chappelle used their real lives, bodies, and gender identity as punchlines in The Closer. Gender is a fact. Every human being in this room, every human being on this earth, had to pass through the legs of a woman to be on earth. That is a fact, he says in a special. His last string of Netflix specials that has included Sticks and Stones, Equanimity, and The Bird Revelation. He also sided with Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling by identifying as Team TERF, a term that means trans exclusionary radical feminist and ideology that excludes trans women as women. The special, currently number 4 on Netflix top US 10 list of the streamer's most popular titles, also features jabs at white guys and the Me Too movement and lesbians, among others. I don't hate gay people. I respect the shit out of you. Not all of you. I'm not that fond of these newer guys. Too sensitive, too brittle. I miss
Yep.
the old school guys, the Stonewall gays. They didn't take shit from anybody. And, that's the thing. A guy like George Carlin wouldn't last in today's world. Richard Pryor
Are you
wouldn't
kidding me?
last
Yay,
in
what?
today's world.
Yay, what?
Eddie Murphy's early gigs wouldn't last. Robin Williams' early
Right
stuff
now?
wouldn't last.
No. Right now, yes. The pendulum is swinging. Okay? The pendulum is fucking swinging right now. Multiple stars are coming out right now, which means the pendulum is swinging. Okay? The reason, okay, the LGBT community, from my interpretation, they're not mad because of the little jokes he made about it. You know, okay? You know why they're so mad? Because at the end of the special, he talked about his trans friend who he was friends with, okay, who enjoyed his comedy, laughed at his jokes, okay? When he put out his last special, the trans community attacked him. His trans friend defended him. And then the trans community went at this person hard. And this person ended up committing suicide. Okay? And he was like, yo. And he brought, spelled it out. So the end of his special was like, this person was trans, part of your community, and you bullied this person to committing suicide. He didn't come out and say it like that, but that's what happened. So they're losing their minds because it's like, of course, people who lean in a specific way don't really take accountability for their actions. Mm-hmm. So that is the whole hubbub. It's like, I had a trans friend that was cool, went to every one of my shows. I was mentoring this person. This person stood up for me, and you bullied her to suicide. That's what I got. Everything else, I go, oh, okay. Normal knocks that a comedian does towards everybody. Okay. I go, that was it. They find it offensive because they did it. Their own community fucking bullied one of their own to suicide. That's the problem. I see it. I'm like, yeah. They don't want to take accountability for what they did.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of people now that don't want to take accountability that should.
Yeah. The LGBT community should have been like, yeah, that was fucked up of us. Or bad. No. They're trying to play, he's trying to like. No, he's not. He literally just said he had a really close transgender friend, and you guys pushed that person to commit suicide.
And, the thing is, everybody who was up in arms about Dave Chappelle and calling for his firing, Netflix has already come out and said they're not firing him. They're not getting rid of him. They're not going to get rid of somebody who's bringing in money, no matter how controversial they are.
Not only that, but when you watch this, like I said, watch the special, and it's like, there was literally nothing wrong with this. This was kind of mild. He kind of held back. I'm like, I would have swung harder.
Yeah.
Like all he did was state facts.
Well, I mean, he did that in his last special too, and people lost their minds. And that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Is that here's the thing: comedy is one of those things that used to be very,
edgy.
very brutal, edgy.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that, comedy, you could make fun of a religion, you could mock. You
can make fun of anything in comedy. Anything.
Yeah, you make fun of anything, and sometimes, yes, some jokes people could argue, okay, that is so far over the line, it's not even funny. But guess what? That's your opinion. The guy next to you might think, that's the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
Like, so again, that's the whole point. Comedy is subjective. Like, for me, I laugh my ass off at, like, Blazing Saddles, dark humor, all this stuff. I laugh my ass off at it. Like, Crew humor, I laugh my ass off. Now, sometimes there is a certain point to where I'm like, okay, you know what?
Mine is still streaming.
You gotta, cool their, poncho and everything. So, but like for me, comedy is one of those things that you shouldn't be so hesitant to just be like, oh, well, comedy should be censored and this stuff. It's like, no, because, like, again, like I was saying earlier, look at Rush Hour. Rush Hour is a funny ass movie, and in that movie there are Asian jokes, there are white jokes, and there are black jokes. Yeah. And guess what? I knew people.
They all make you laugh. They all make you laugh your ass off.
Yep.
Yeah. I make black jokes all the damn time. I'm like, what?
No, you can't laugh at yourself. You made white jokes with me.
Yes, if you can't laugh at yourself, then you have problems.
Dude, all I gotta do is look in the mirror and laugh at myself. Trust me, I'm pretty good at that.
Damn.
I was asked recently, what am I going to be for Halloween? I said, the scariest thing I know, the thing I look at in the mirror.
Wow.
And that, my friends, is comedy.
Right?
I had somebody ask me that a couple years back, and I'm very, very hairy person. Like you take my shirt off, and then I've had people make the comments
Bigfoot?
like,
"Are we talking to Bigfoot?" Really?
Seriously?
Bigfoot,
Well,
welcome to the show.
Is that why you're okay with living in, like, you want seasons, like, so you can, like, in the wintertime your coat has a purpose?
Yes.
TKO, this whole time, almost 2 months, I've been talking to Common Sense America, the Smoking Patriot. I've been talking to Bigfoot this whole time.
We found him.
You didn't even know it. And by the way, Washington, terrible state. You get a contact high just walking around that state, man. You got to come to the South. Nice and warm.
Wait. How is that a bad thing? You know how much money you'll save on weed then if you just walk down the street and get high?
We Sasquatches don't like the smell of it. It makes us nauseous. Okay? Something to do. It just every time we smell it, we just want to hurl. And then we want to break your neck because you made us hurl. So we figured, well, we'll just get the hell out of that place.
Raid a few campgrounds. You know, if you see some good grub, of course, take the good grub.
Plus, I mean, we Sasquatches like our southern women. There's just something about a southern woman that's nice. So
it's the accent, bro. We already know this. Shut up. We already know.
I mean, can you fault me?
Not always the accent, brother.
Yeah, not always. I mean,
bruh. That damn accent.
Bruh.
Holy shit.
Bruh.
I do declare. Are you like wump? You like, girl? And your brain will just uninstall itself?
You live in California, Southern California, dude. You gotta come here to the South, man. Come on, man.
You are forgetting where my entire family's from?
I know where your entire family is from, dude. I've known you long enough.
So yes, them Southern belles, when they start talking, you're like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm. They start talking, and they could be talking like softly because you're in a loud place. They'll be talking softly, and you're like, "Oh dear God, woman, just don't stop. Just don't stop."
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Southern accent.
What was I saying? Because all I want to know is what you're saying. Forget about what I was saying.
Look, I'm just saying, if you're going to become a Sasquatch, okay, you got to be okay with two things. Not liking the smell of weed and being okay with being very hairy and shedding like a cat.
Yeah, I'm not down with that. It's all good.
Shedding like a cat. So let me guess. No, you know what? No, I'll keep this.
We don't lick ourselves clean if that entered your mind.
I was gonna say I'll keep this PG-13, borderline rated R, but I won't go any further than that. So
let me just put it this way, Peter. You know, I visited Peter Mayhew once when he was in his Chewbacca outfit, and he thought I was another Wookiee. He goes up to me and says, "Nice outfit." I'm like, "What outfit?" Well, that's a costume, right? I said, "No, this is au natural." I mean, you know, I can't help it. We Sasquatches, man.
Yeah. And,
see,
you know,
for everyone listening,
read the rest of this
that's
article.
how you make fun of yourself.
Well, it's like I've been called, you know, the R word. I'm not actually going to say it because YouTube gets a little sensitive about it, but I've been called the R word plenty of times. I'm going, really? I'm dough? You're doing that because I'm dough? So you can bake me the next day? Cool. I hope it tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. It's like anytime I hear it now, I just look at the person and I either think to myself or I've actually said it and go, shut up.
Yeah.
Oh, question though. I haven't been on Pop Talk for a minute. Sorry, I've been, like I said, working and then trying to, you know, stream myself and do my things and whatnot. And so, have you been talking about the abomination known as Indiana Jones that does not exist?
We talked about it Sunday a little bit.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering if that had been covered because the rage that's going through my body over Doomcock's rumors knows no bounds. I had to go literally today to medieval times. Okay? I had to get all the way over there, walk through the deserts, the valleys, the sun, and get a custom fitted helmet to prevent my head from exploding.
Hey, I like medieval times. That's a fun place.
Right? But are you a Doomcock fan?
Oh, I've been following Doomcock since 20 2017.
So then you understand the point of the joke was one of my favorite things. That I love. I don't know why. Every time he says that, I love it. It just makes me chuckle. He's like, "You better sit down, pour yourself a drink, and put on your helmet to prevent your head from exploding." I love that
I know,
shit,
dude. I've been following him since he had I want to say 20K subscribers.
Oh man, I love.
I don't remember how many subscribers he had when I started following him, but I know it was in the middle of 2018 that I started following him.
Yeah, for me it was I want to say late 2017, early 2018.
My first thought when I saw the helmet, I'm all, who's the guy with the helmet?
He started reminding me of old school 60s villains. So I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Okay.
And then because of the way the eye slits were, I'm thinking, what is he supposed to be, an offshoot of Megatron? That's what I was thinking. Let me pull up a picture of Megatron, and you'll definitely see where I'm getting my idea from. He just pulled up here real quick. You want Megatron? Otherwise, if I just type in Megatron, I'll get every incarnation of Megatron except the one I'm actually looking for. This new tab. And then I am going to go ahead and share it here momentarily. But look at his head, look around the eyes, and I don't know if you guys can see what I was seeing when I first looked at it real quick, but that's the kind of image I was getting.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I can see it.
I saw more of he made a different version of this. Let me see if I can all right, I'll post it in your Discord. This is what I
No, you can post it here. Post it in the private, then I can post it on here.
Oh, I can? Okay, I didn't know that. All right.
Post it in the private chat, and then I'll share it.
It didn't work. It's not letting me.
I see that. It should let you.
Yeah, not letting me. So I'll post it in your Discord. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, well, he's made a shirt that pretty much is, a spoof of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm even so when I went to
you see it too?
No. I just had a thought.
Oh, I'll show you.
So when
I'm getting ready to show it on here, so you all can see.
Like his helmet reminds me of this.
Yeah. Yeah, he had
I
a play
see it.
on that. He had a play on
Which
that.
tickles me. Oh, that tickles me.
But like I said, I saw it and I'm going, who's this guy with the helmet? And then I'm thinking, because of the way the eyes were looking, my immediate thought was Megatron. Mega Doomcock.
You mean Doomtron?
Doomatron.
I mean, shit. There was what was it? It was Rise of Skywalker. My best friend and I, we made a pact that we were gonna go see the entire Star Wars trilogy.
Hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what the hell movie is that? I mean, do you mean the Fall of Skywalker?
Yes, the Fall of Skywalker.
Keep
The
talking
movie
about
that
it,
had
we'll be
the
right
that
worst
movie.
climactic the movie that had
Oh.
the worst major climactic battle in history. I can keep going.
Oh no, because I mean I don't know
That
if it's the
movie.
Rise of Skywalker movie, but I do know the Fall of Skywalker or the Rise of Palpatine.
Hard to disagree with you there.
Fuck that movie.
But I wore a Doomcock shirt, the Doomcock shirt that I own. I wore that to that midnight premiere, or sorry, opening night premiere with him.
Why would you even show up?
Because him and I made a pact, and we decided to stick with the pact because we're like, okay, we're this far in, we have to see it because we need to criticize it and if people say it was the greatest movie ever, that way we can actually have competent opinions and facts to back it up, rather than just spewing stuff and people can easily say, "Have you seen it?" No, I haven't seen it. So we wanted to actually have competent opinions, and we made a pact back in 2015.
Yeah, I watched it for free, so therefore it was still garbage.
I've only seen it. Well, I saw it twice. Once with my best friend, and then once earlier this year.
Do you hate yourself?
What?
Or you trying to purposely give yourself brain cancer?
A guy that somebody who I used to do live streams with months ago. He wanted to do something breaking down the Rise of Skywalker and all its faults. So in order to do that, we needed to refresh ourselves and actually watch it and make notes. It wasn't something I wanted to do, but we were doing it for a live stream.
Stop. Pause.
Yes.
I am withdrawing what I said. I keep forgetting. All three of us are not merely fans. We're all three content creators. So therefore, when you're a content creator, you are required to eat bowlfuls of shit that you wouldn't do. And I should not be looking upon you guys as merely fans, but as content creators. I apologize.
Why do you think I watched all 3 seasons of Discovery content creation? And Picard.
How much did your medical premiums go up? Because the chemotherapy had to have been expensive.
Don't ask.
I want to know how much chemotherapy you guys went through. I got through 5 episodes of He-Man, and I'm like, no. 2 episodes of He-Man. How many episodes did I make it through, Pacific?
You only made it through 2.
2 episodes.
Don't even try to say that you went through 5 episodes. You only made it through 2.
Thank you, because obviously
you left me hanging. You were supposed to be my branded brother. You're supposed to be the man next to me, my brother next to me in the battle, and you abandoned me in mid-battle.
No, my head I simply caught an MG44. Okay, 4 or 5 MG42 rounds to the chest and went down. I'm like, I was KIA. You're mad at me for being KIA?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna pull Tila and be mad at you.
I was like, nope. www.nope.com #fuck that.
Yes, no. I'm gonna pull Tila and I'm gonna be mad at you because you died and you didn't tell me about your secret.
What secret? I don't like cancer pumped into my brains.
Don't remind me.
I'm sorry, Patriot. I'm sorry.
Remember, I only saw the first 2 episodes of this new shit.
Okay, so
I had to drink during both episodes.
Yeah, so did I. So this is Pop Talk. So I'm assuming Pacific was on board. I heard Kevin Smith is already opening his mouth again on the next installment instead of keeping his mouth shut like a smart individual.
I'd seen that on social media, and
I'm like, I'm done. I'm not even looking at it. I'm not even getting. It's not even getting 0.0000001 seconds of my time.
I've done 2 live streams on that show. I'm not doing any more.
Yeah, I'm not touching it.
No. There's not enough condoms on this earth to make me want to even attempt to tap that.
Right.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
I can't. Sorry. No, I'm sorry. No.
Now went out a sign order for Jesus.
Oh God. But that's the thing is that look at how much stuff has been demonized and destroyed. Comedy, sci-fi, fantasy, action movies.
That's what
Being
they're
a
trying to do.
man.
That is what they're trying to do. They're trying to destroy the foundation of everything that has been held dear for years upon years to meet their agenda. Gary has said it multiple times. They are doing it for their own agenda. They don't care about these properties. They never have cared about these properties. They'll never give a shit about these properties. These properties are meaningless to them. All they want to do is use them as a platform, like Alex Kurtzman said about Star Trek. He wants to use it as a fucking platform.
Yep. Which is stupid.
Yep. And the thing is, Star Wars was never a platform to begin with. Star Trek, Star Wars would address certain things. You know, if you look at the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, there are some underlying tones and everything, but they're not pushing anything down your throat. They're not shoving it. Star Trek always address various. Say what?
Wait, agendas in Star Wars? Let me think. I can't really. I don't really see any type of agenda in Star Wars at all, other than just space story that has nothing to do with what's going on currently.
Well,
like, even the Jedi stuff, that was more like ancient Japanese politics back in the day. I'm like, that's not happening today. Nothing in Star Wars seemed to mirror anything happening today in America. You know, maybe there are dictatorships in other parts of the world, but like,
yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
I think though, the point I'm trying to make is that if you look at various things, various franchises and stuff we have loved, in the past, either A, didn't preach to us about anything and shove stuff down our throats, or if they did present something, they would present it in a way that showed blatantly the evil or the hypocrisy of certain things, or sometimes would even leave it open-ended and kind of be like the conclusion was, you make your own conclusion. You know,
that was more Star Trek.
Total ass. But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm talking about our franchises in general. You know, they didn't try and pander to groups. They didn't try and shove stuff down our throats. Now that's all they do now. You know? Yeah. I mean, Game of Thrones, when it first started out, nobody was like, there's not enough black representation or Asian representation. No, everyone was like, wow, this is badass.
This is awesome.
The latest episode of Game of Thrones? Wow, wasn't that a great episode last night? Wow, I can't believe so-and-so did that.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and then, you know, the times to be like, oh my gosh, Khaleesi. Dude, her rack, or oh yeah, that fight scene, or those dragons, or this or that, because nothing was being shoved down your throat. And then what happens when we get to the end of it? It's like a Hitlerian-esque speech.
Okay, you guys want to know something? Here's a secret. I don't think I've ever told either of you this.
Are you sure you want to share it here on the live stream?
Yeah. When Star Trek Deep Space Nine first was announced.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, Cisco, I didn't want to like Cisco. I'm like, oh, they're trying to pander to us, you know. Even back then, I was seeing some of the pandering that Hollywood was trying to do. So when Star Trek Deep Space Nine went in, I expected to walk into some, well, at the time it wasn't a term, but SJW bullshit. But when Cisco was like, this fucker's awesome. This is no pandering. This is just a character. This is a captain who just happens to be black, you know? And I'm like, it was never mentioned, my blackness or anything. It was just, this is a captain who just happens to be African-American, and he's a badass. and he's not
Yeah.
flawless. He doesn't. He makes his mistakes. He learns. He grows. He's a real human being. He is not the best as Avar because he's a black man, and thus I'm like fuck. Because sometimes, like when I'm talking about today, my favorite Star Trek captain, I'm like, oh, it's Cisco, but I have to go. It's not because he's black, you know, because I feel like I have to state that out because of the current political stupidity. It's like no, because of the character, the way it was written. You can have an Asian play Cisco, doesn't fucking matter. A white person play Cisco, doesn't fucking matter. Cisco, the character, badass.
Yeah.
That's that. Yeah. Like,
Apparently,
Well,
at one
no,
point
I mean,
in the casting process, they actually wanted Billy D. Williams to read for Cisco.
oh, so apparently he wrote it for a black dude. Well, I'm saying me, I don't care. Like that character
They
was
wanted
freaking awesome.
You know what they were trying to do? They were trying to get a name actor in there so people would watch Deep Space Nine. Whatever helped Deep Space Nine get off to a good start.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, well, and that's the
No,
thing about
Avery Brooks
Deep
nailed it.
Space. He did, and the funny thing is, I mean, you know, he's a badass. He's also sympathetic. He likes to have fun,
and he has flaws.
Say what?
And he has flaws.
You know, like
a real human.
Like I was like I was telling Chaos earlier. You know,
Guys,
I was watching
guys, you're forgetting the one main thing. The man loved baseball.
Oh, get the fuck out of here with that.
I was gonna bring that up. Actually, I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna say the man likes to have fun. He likes to joke. He likes to play baseball. You know, Way of the Warrior Part 2. I was watching the episode yesterday while I was eating dinner.
About that.
And you know, when fuck, what's his name? It's not Garrick. It's the other Cardassian.
Ducat.
When Ducat walks on the bridge of the Defiant, and he's like, and he starts bitching to Cisco about the security guy, and then you just hear Dax say, "Looks like I won, Benjamin. You owe me dinner." And then Ducat's like, "What's that supposed to mean?" And she's like, Captain Cisco bet me that you would thank him before starting to complain. And then just Cisco smiles and chuckles and says, "Looks like I lost." You know, I mean, he's like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't mind losing to her. I'm just gonna say that right now. Dude, yeah. Everyone goes after Kira. I'm a Dax guy.
Gosh, Terry
I go
Farrell's
against the
beautiful
grain.
blue eyes.
Wait, I don't know. Like, okay, the females of Deep Space Nine, I don't really know. Akira, I went from not liking her to I'm down to follow
Kira and Dax, so
to follow her in the battle. Dax, I was more like Dax, like the chick that I'd like to have as a friend. Like, I want the same relationship with Dax that Cisco had with her. Like, have that girl that you can just sit down and chill with, and drink. But Dax is unique. So Kira is more like, oh shit, you're a badass. Let's go into battle together. I mean, like, I'm trying to think. The only female character in Star Trek, I was like, oh my, was like, okay. Deanna Troi had me going giggity, and Seven of Fine. Okay, those are only two chicks in Star Trek. I was like, oh my god,
So T'Pol never had you going giggity.
Oh shit, T'Pol had me giggity all over.
I was a Hoshi guy.
So was I. I liked her.
T'Pol in that little tank top, getting that goo rubbed all over her,
dude.
Baby,
Hoshi
it's hot just
topless.
like an oven.
Hoshi was topless, covering her chest with her hands.
Okay, Hoshi. I'm sorry. I was stationed in Japan for 4 years. I've seen much hotter Japanese chicks than her. So
okay, you know
I'm
what?
Like, she was a 4 on my scale. Hoshi was a 4 when it came to Japanese girls. Okay, I was stationed over
there. Here's the thing. I haven't met or known. I haven't known any Japanese, and I've met very few Japanese. So you know what? My scale is a little bit different than yours. So that's your opinion.
Oh, I've had lots of interesting encounters with Japanese girls, so I'm PG-13.
I bet you could tell us many stories.
Many stories of glorious battle.
Look. However you like to phrase your activities is on you.
Yeah,
glorious battle.
That's all you, TKO. That's all you.
Yes, it was glorious battle.
But I guess it's a perfect segue into the next topic.
You said something ridiculous when the host was like, and on that note, we're gonna segue off this cliff.
You know, there was a part of me thinking, should I?
You got your flight suit? No? Screw it.
He's all like, eject, pull the cords, fall back, get in the chopper.
To be or not to be? That is the question we must ask ourselves. We need
should I or should I? And I decided, what the hell?
1938.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? This new mic is freaking awesome. Like right now, I said, "Fuck it."
He loves it.
Like the cord stretches long enough where I have this shit. It's like sitting on my nightstand, and I'm like laying in my bed with my fucking vodka, fucking lemonade. Like just yes, no, it's awesome to have equipment that actually isn't booty cheeks, isn't it? Yes, it is, Phil. No.
Okay, I didn't know that I was doing a posh show where we had to have our pinkies out, and nothing against my European friends or anything. I just saying I didn't know I had to have a drink with my pinky out right now.
I mean, my cup is too big for that, so I mean, it's not.
So anyways, we can watch this video. I'm not playing any sound, but we can watch this video of Captain Kirk himself, William Shatner, going up into space, boldly going where no other Star Trek actor has gone before.
Yeah.
And
I got the music.
No music. Just watch the screen and be in wonder and awe.
You like that?
You know, and now I'm thinking that the Nexus ribbon is going to come across and hit Blue Origin, and William Shatner is going to be tracking the Nexus until some bald guy shows up and says, I need you to come with me. I need you to help me stop Soren.
Oh my god, and what the bald guy's Jeff Bezos.
Well, either Jeff Bezos or Patrick Stewart, take your pick.
I mean, Jeff Bezos is the only other bald guy that went into space, right?
Jeff Bezos is the reason why William Shatner went into space.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait,
although it's funny, you know the
hold on a second.
From Star Trek 1.
Is this Jeff Bezos's? Wait.
Somebody did one.
Is this Jeff Bezos's flying dick?
Yeah, Blue Origin's Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, Blue Origin.
Son of a
Jeff
bitch!
Bezos.
Shatner went to orbit and Jeff Bezos is flying dildo? Damn it! Okay, fine. I give up.
Yeah. Well, we always knew Captain Kirk liked to explore strange new worlds and new civilizations.
I was expecting George Takei to do it first.
Unfortunately, the women here, I wouldn't trust him with the women here. Dear Lord.
But anyways, there we go. William Shatner boldly went where no other Star Trek actor has gone before. And this article from Yahoo News by Dylan Stapleford says William Shatner became the oldest person ever to reach the edge of space on Wednesday when the 90-year-old Star Trek star and 3 others blasted off on Blue Origin's New Shepard 4 for the commercial spaceflight company's second human flight. The voyage was initially scheduled for Tuesday, but high winds near the launch site in Von Horn, Texas, prompted Blue Origin to push it back a day. Who flew with Shatner? Shatner was joined by 3 other passengers, and I don't know if you guys have seen it going around social media, but somebody went into Photoshop and they gave Shatner, of course, the gold uniform and the 3 others red uniforms.
What?
I
No.
thought,
I haven't seen that one. I saw one where it was like a photo of Shatner kind of like looking outside the capsule with like a stunned look on his face, like while they're in space, and it showed like
yeah,
a Star Wars battle raging around. I have seen
yeah,
that.
I've seen that one too. I'm gonna try to
I
pull up
have
the other
not
one.
actually seen any of them.
All right, I'll try to pull up both of them real quick.
Oh, real quick, can you guys hear a fan?
Yes, I can.
Shit. Okay. I was like, is this mic and this mic turn that off?
If you're close to the mic, we can barely hear it, but if you're not close to the mic, we can hear it.
Weird. Okay. I'm just testing the capabilities of this new platform.
See if I can find it. Hold on one second. I am trying to find it. If I have to, I'll go to the Twitter sphere and find it there. Give me a second. But while I'm looking for that, I'll show you guys this. Okay, let me remove that and add this next image on here. There you go. While I'm looking for the other one.
I have seen that one many times, actually.
Wait, no, it was just computer. It wasn't hello computer. It was just computer.
No.
Computer.
No.
Hello, computer.
No. Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah, because he says, because he goes up to the computer and says, computer, and then that's when McCoy takes the mouse, hands it to him, and then he says, hello, computer. That's when he does it. Yes, I've got a memory where if it's a movie I like and I've seen it enough, I can literally replay clips in my head and tell you exactly what's said, the music, everything. I can literally just replay it. It's like a data storage device up there.
We already established that we have the exact same type of, almost the exact same type of brain. Because you know what I want to know?
What?
Who's up there?
What do you mean, who's up there?
Who's up there? Cougar and Merlin and Maverick and Goose.
Wow.
Great. Maverick and Goose.
Okay, in my defense, it's been a while since I've seen Top Gun. I actually need to buy it because I don't own it, and I know I need to buy it. I'm just saying, I haven't seen it in a while, so that one's a lot more hazy in the brain.
All arrows shall blot out the sun.
And there you go. There's another one.
Spartans, what is your profession? I just saw the meme. Oh, God. I wonder how Shatner feels about these awesome memes.
He's probably loving it. You kidding me?
I mean, Chuck Norris seems confused about the memes after him. I'm like, Chuck, are you kidding me? You're Chuck fucking Norris. Kirk, my old friend.
Do you know the Klingon proverb about what?
Wait.
How does he say? I always get it wrong. Is it
I
the
stab
Klingon?
it with my last breath. I stab at thee.
No, it was the Klingon proverb about Revenge is a dish best served cold, and space is a very cold place. That's
Okay,
it.
I found one of the memes, so I'm gonna go ahead and share it, and then I'll get back to that article.
I have
There
a
you go. There's
need.
one of them.
That's the one. That's the one I saw. Yeah.
I have a need for speed.
Fuck. Where are we? Captain, I believe we were in an alternate reality. You mean like in the JJ movies? No, sir. I mean a truly alternate reality.
Here's another one I really like. So I'm gonna share it just because I like it.
Oh God, what is happening?
What's happening? We're having fun. That's what's happening.
That's not what I meant to put. Okay.
Look, dude. If you gotta mute yourself and take care of business for 20 minutes, man, just give us a heads up.
Did he do that for real?
Oh my God.
I don't know. Somebody probably
That looks real.
did it on
That
Photoshop.
looks real. That's what I want to know. I need information.
That's pretty damn.
Wait, his hand color and face color are different. Wait, no, that might be normal for old people. Never mind.
Well, his face was red. His face was red. It's that day too, though. So
yeah, but shouldn't his hands be red too then?
No, it was just his face for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if again, I don't know why, but his face just seemed.
Maybe he was drunk because he was. Maybe because he was drunk because he was about to sit his ass on a large amount of explosives.
They did have some champagne, so
that, or he could have been embarrassed that he was flying up in a giant dildo.
Yeah, flying man part.
And Space did not consent.
How do you know? Space probably wanted him back. Come back! Earth is fucked. Get out of there. Let's go.
Well, I can't find the other one, but basically it's William Shatner wearing his Blue Origin uniform, but somebody went into Photoshop and made it yellow, and then the other one's red with Starfleet emblems on them. But anyways, with William Shatner going into space, of course, there's always going to be someone who's salty about it. In this case, we have... Yes.
I heard about him. I don't know what he said. I just know he said something.
I'm getting to it.
It was probably stupid.
Knowing him, that's all that ever comes out of his mouth now.
Right.
But yes. George.
Of the jungle. Stop being so stupid.
Yep. This is coming from Bounding into Comment. It's coming from Spencer Macaulay, and it says Star Trek star George Takei slams William Shatner as unfit and a guinea pig following Shatner's trip to space. He's jealous. He's always been jealous.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, he's always been jealous of William Shatner. You know, he's always held some animosity toward William Shatner. Well, like it or not, Shatner, Kelly, and Nimoy were the three leads of Star Trek. They were the stars.
Yep. Not to say that people didn't also love, like Chekhov and Scott and Uhura.
I think Uhura was number 4.
People liked them too. But, yeah, Nimoy, Kelly, and Shatner were like the three amigos, basically, of the entire group.
Mm-hmm.
So it says in the latest swing in the former Enterprise crew's ongoing feud, actor George Takei slammed fellow Star Trek alumni William Shatner over the latter's recent voyage to space, asserting to reporters that the 90-year-old actor was unfit and a guinea pig. Well, what? Is he upset that they didn't go on board the Excelsior? You know, Sulu was the
Probably.
only one among the crew who loved the Excelsior, and Scotty told him, "Why on earth would you want that bucket of bolts?"
Yeah.
That doesn't count. Scotty was like, even like, okay, it's like, bruh, even the Enterprise
Up
D
your
Scotty was like,
shaft.
it's like, I prefer the. I was like, bruh, this is the D, bruh. The Enterprise D. Okay, the D.
But Scotty mentioned in Relics that when he was on board the original Enterprise, he knew how fast the ship was going by the feel of the deck plates. On the Enterprise D, he felt like he was in the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know where they got that from? Israeli pilots.
Yeah.
Because during when they had the M4 F4 Phantoms, when they went to the F-16s, the fly by wire, they're like, oh, I can't feel the plane anymore. It's like, what?
But
I have heard various pilot stories about that. Yeah.
I was like, huh, intriguing.
in the article, it says, asked by Page 6 for his thoughts on Shatner's space flight while speaking at the opening of the new Broadway play, Thoughts of a Colored Man, on October 13th. Takei mockingly told the entertainment news arm of the New York Post he's boldly going where other people have gone before. You know, Takei,
As a dick.
he and Shatner, you know, are part of the greatest legacy there ever is, and that's the original Star Trek. But Takei, for some reason, has a huge bug up his ass.
You know his political leanings, right? So yeah, are you surprised?
Oh, this is way before his political leanings. Way before.
Mm-hmm.
This feud between.
Sure.
Listen to me, and I'm sure common sense has heard the same thing.
Okay.
But this feud between Shatner and Takei has been going on for a very long time. A very long time.
Yeah.
A certain mind.
And I don't.
Any dig that Takei can make at Shatner is a dig that he'll gladly make.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And it's and I told Cass this earlier today that I saw somebody that took a screenshot of it. I'm pretty sure it was Leonard Nimoy's daughter. She even tweeted, "Congrats, Shatner. I know if my father were alive, he'd be in the seat right next to you."
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, God, that almost got me emotional just thinking about that. Kirk and Spock going up to space in a Blue
BRB,
Origin
guys.
rocket together. You know?
Because even Shatner and Nimoy had that period of time where they didn't see eye to eye.
Mm-hmm.
As many of you might find it hard to believe, even those two had a period of time where, you know, Shatner don't care for him. Nimoy don't care for him. But they were able to reconcile their differences.
Yeah. Actually, let me look something up. Just out of curiosity. Okay. Keep going. I'm just going to look something up.
While you're doing that, I'm going to continue. It says he's a guinea pig, 90 years old, and it's important to find out what happens. He continued. So 90 years old is going to show a great deal more on wear and tear on the human body, so he'll be a good specimen to study. Well, I mean, you're up there too, George. It could have been you. It could have been Shatner. You know, unfortunately, there's very few of the original cast still around. So, he starkly concluded, although he's not the fittest specimen of 90 years old, so he'll be a specimen that's unfit. Well, I don't know too many people that are 90 years old and are still moving around like Shatner is. And if somebody else does, well, point them out to me. I'd love to meet them. But let me get rid of this ad.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
well,
just because I'm looking up when Nimoy died, what Shatner posted on Twitter,
yeah.
because that's where you can find what he says, and this is an article all ripping Shatner for the whole thing about how people are pissed, and Shatner was doing a charity like that he had done months before Nimoy even passed, and he's like, I wasn't there for his funeral because I chose to honor the agreement I made with this charity. My two daughters were going to Nimoy's funeral, but I am, I hate that I can't be there for a close friend. He even says this in the tweet: "A lot of money was raised, so here I am. Tell me off." This is what he tweeted, and then somebody asked him, "What life lessons did you learn from each other?" And he replied, "What life lessons did you learn from each other?" Leonard, and then he hashtagged Leonard Nimoy. "I learned to be more serious. I think he learned to be less." And then let's see. Leonard Nimoy. He was intelligent, insightful, just a precious gem of a man. Let's see here. Leonard and I seem to be bound by fate to be friends. We were born 4 days apart. And then somebody asked Shatner, how close were you with him after Star Trek? And he said, very. You know. And then, I mean, it's people are just asking him, and he's replying all these things about Leonard Nimoy.
Well, I'm going to grab something, so keep talking. I'll be right back.
What up? Are we just doing tag team bathroom breaks?
You know, I guess so. Let's see. Somebody asked William Shatner, "What's the coolest thing he gave you that you've kept?" He said, "His love and friendship."
Who? To Spock or Leonard Nimoy?
Yeah, it's Leonard Nimoy. This is Shatner.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing, is that Shatner and Nimoy had a deep, I'd say, brotherly friendship and love for each other. You know? And I mean, here's the thing. Like, my best friend, he's my brother. And I love him dearly. He loves me dearly. We've been there for each other through all sorts of shit in each other's lives, up and downs. And you know, it's that kind of bond that you have with somebody that when I read through all this, that Nimoy and Shatner had for each other. And I think Takai is a petty ass man for wanting more spotlight, when guess what? Here's the thing, Takai, and if you do listen to
the deepest bonds a man will get is with his homie, not a chick. Because you get married with a chick, it's like a chick and divorce. You guys get all dirty and nasty and fuck each other's lives over. You and your homie, you are homies. You will fight in the trenches. You will bleed together. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I get it. You know, it's a total heterosexual thing. It's like, you have a good homie, you know, if he's a good homie, he's not gonna fuck you over. But a man can think that this woman's the best thing ever in the world, and she can just flip and fuck you and take half your shit like that. You don't have that threat from your closest guy homie. You can just be homies and just sit together on the couch and, you know, dodge bullets when they come, exchange fire back at them, and you know you're okay. That man is not a significant threat to you. I mean, that's why bromances are the shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that friend you can fucking trust.
Two big examples. I'm gonna tell you, right. So when Star Trek 09 came out, my best friend and I, we bought tickets to the midnight showing. And he came over. We watched all the Star Trek movies we could. And we sat down, we ate cheddar popcorn, and we had our version of Romulan ale, which was just blue Kool-Aid. Because we weren't even old enough to drink.
I did that
so we
during
drank our
All Good Things finale.
You nerds.
Yeah. But that's the thing. We chilled over at my place. We watched Star Trek movies, ate cheddar, like shit tons of cheddar popcorn, probably enough to last us for the rest of our life, and drank a shit ton of blue Kool-Aid because that was our Romulan ale. And then when The Force Awakens,
you do realize
came out,
Romulan ale is illegal. You're in Federation states.
Well, you know what? I know a guy, so there. It happened a long time ago. You can't incriminate me.
Underage drinking of Romulan ale? I'm surprised you're even alive.
No. The legal age for Romulan ale is 16. Didn't you read that? Didn't you read that new law that was just passed?
No, I can't read Romulan.
Oh, it's a very vile language, but I learn enough just so I can get around any loopholes. So but then like another thing my best friend and I did when The Force Awakens came out, we waited in line because there was all the hype and the midnight showings. There was lines for hours and everything. So he wore like a t-shirt that looked like Boba Fett's armor. He had his lightsaber. I, being a very creative nerd, dressed up as the Doctor with a lightsaber. And people asked me, why are you dressed up like that? I said, I'm the Doctor, but you have a lightsaber. Well, the Doctor can go to any dimension, any time, anywhere in the galaxy or universe. So who's to say that he didn't go to the Star Wars universe and train with Jedi because he's the Doctor and he trained with Jedi and they gave him a lightsaber? Who's to say that couldn't have happened? And people would just stood there like, I can't believe you actually saw this out, thought this out. And my best friend and I, we were there, we were nerding out, lightsabers and dressed up in our Star Wars, and we were excited and everything and whatnot. Like it was, we've had those bonding moments like that. When Halo 4 came out, he came over. I can't believe his wife actually let him do this. By the way, he came over for 3 days. All we did was drink Mountain Dew, eat pizza, and play Halo. We slept for maybe 3 to 4 hours each day, and we played them. And then, because I already owned Halo 4 at this time, but we wanted to do a playthrough, so we did a co-op playthrough of Halo 1, 2, 3, and Reach, and then we played 4 together. Like
old times.
Like old times, and that's the thing, and that's the thing is that Nimoy and Kirk have a bond that is like that. I truly believe it from the way Shatner talks about him.
Yeah, because I'm going to go ahead and show it again here in just a moment. But in this book, that's what William Shatner talks about, is their friendship, their bond that they had together. It didn't matter if they were on set, off set, they had a true friendship.
Yeah.
And yeah, like any friendship, it has its times where you have your disagreements. But they had a true friendship.
Yeah. I mean, and I think honestly, to Kai, he let the limelight get to him too early on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone wanted to be, Bones, or I mean, to be honest, I didn't know. There were very few people I even knew who even wanted to be a Sulu. People wanted to be either Scotty, Spock, McCoy, or Kirk.
Yep.
I didn't actually meet any chicks who liked Star Trek until my 20s. It was, and I'm talking, I like everybody I've ever known in my life, that I've ever met in my life, that I've talked Star Trek with, women, I'd say 98% of them couldn't give two shits about Trek. They couldn't. So it was mainly guys, and that's what all the guys said. Even the women, the very few women I've ever talked to in my life, who about Trek, they want to be one of the guys in some way, shape, or form. Like that's who they identify with. Like if you go to the OG cast. Of course, I ain't dissing on her. I'm just saying that's what I've known in my life.
Yeah.
Because Chekhov, nobody. I kind of feel bad for Chekhov because I kind of feel like he was there as part of the main cast, but a lot of people were like, "What does Chekhov really do?" I had people ask me that. Like, what does he do? Like, we know, like, okay, he sits alongside Sulu. Okay, is that tactical? Like, what is that exactly? So, I had people ask that question, and I had no answer. By the way, I had no answer.
I mean, as far as I knew, Sulu handled, the tactical and operations of the ship, and Chekhov was the navigator.
I think that's might have would have been. Yeah, because that's the thing. Because Chekhov's role was never, to my knowledge,
It's never defined. It's never really defined.
Yeah, which is crazy because if you go every other Trek series after that, every one of the main cast has a specific role that they play. Data kind of is like this more of a science guy. Like I'd call him more of the science guy, and then Worf is tactical. Geordi is engineering. Troy is there for looks because she really doesn't do anything. Really, if you think about it, she literally plays no part to play. And then you got Dr. Crusher, medical, and then you go to DS9. Every one of the main cast has their primary role that they fill within some way. And you go to Voyager, you go to Enterprise, and they broke that with Discovery because Discovery's a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, also Picard. I mean, yeah, you could say, well, they're not Starfleet officers. Still, you would think even on a ship that size that they're on in Picard, everybody would have a role on board that ship, even if it is, a ship that belonged to somebody else. Now that he has other people on board, he can say, well, since you're good at, say, operations, you're my ops officer. Since you're good at, charting and you know your way around the galaxy, you're the navigator.
Mm-hmm.
Take everybody's strengths and put them to good use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what helps build a good crew. And I mean, Sulu just seems like a very bitter person in general. Like, George Takei. He just has a very bitter person in general. Whenever I see his Twitter, and once in a while I will look it up, he's always bitching about something. He's never trying to raise awareness. He's never trying to say anything good. All he's doing is just demonizing, And I know there's others like that out there you could say are on the right. But I'm just saying from what I've seen, he's not calling it a sensei who's like, hey, you know what? This happened in this place. This happened in this place. We need to raise awareness for this. Hey, everybody be aware of such and such Senate bill. Or, hey, there's this issue I've been seeing in society. We need to address this issue and whatnot. No, it's always trying to tear down, mock, destroy, anything like that. I could be wrong, but from the tweets I've seen, that's all I see of him. Somebody just negative and bitter.
Yeah, and I used to follow him on Facebook. And because of all the bitter, posts that he would put on Facebook, and then later I found that the same ones were on Twitter, I stopped following him. It's like, wow, for someone who was so successful, was able to still find work even after Star Trek.
Yeah.
To be so bitter.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Well, and that's the thing is that look at Walter Cohen. He's done Star Trek fan films. Same with what's the woman who plays Uhura? What's her name?
Michelle Nichols.
Michelle Nichols, thank you. Michelle Nichols is still doing fan stuff. Hell, there's a guy I follow, Jason Fount. He was the Red Time Force Ranger. That's where I know him from. I follow, I follow him on Instagram, and he does a lot of cons, like local stuff with comic book shops, and he's been to big name cons too and everything. And he's doing a sci-fi like film, like a little kind of like a low budget like indie sci-fi film kind of thing with Michelle Nichols. I don't know if it's Star Trek. It might be Star Trek. It might not. I don't know. I just know it's sci-fi. And he posted like the big movie poster picture on his Instagram page. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Michelle Nichols and you in the same movie. Oh, I gotta see this. I don't care how I have to see this. I don't care what sketchy side I got to go to. I mean, I like you as an actor. You're an awesome dude from what I follow and everything I see. Michelle Nichols, well, she's just a relic that should be cherished. She's gonna be in it. Hell yes. I don't care if it's a cheesy, low budget like sci-fi. I don't care. It's probably going to be fun. So, I mean, it's yeah. Takai can just go jump off of a diving board in an empty pool for all I care. I got no respect for the man. And talking about him just makes me want to bitch about him. So,
well, we don't have to talk about it anymore. And of course, one of the things I wanted to touch upon, I'm not going to read it, but there was another review for Ghostbusters Afterlife. And it basically is coming from someone who doesn't fully understand the original movies. All it's saying is Ghostbusters Afterlife review, an empty attempt to placate old fans. Well, you know what? If that's what the movie's doing, if it's trying to appeal to somebody, who's 40 years old or older, or who's on the verge of being 40, well, then guess what? To quote Brie Larson, maybe Ghostbusters Afterlife isn't made for you, but it's made for me. Because remember, Brie Larson said about A Wrinkle in Time, I don't need some old 40-year-old white guy to tell me why A Wrinkle in Time didn't work for him. It wasn't made for you. Well, maybe Ghostbusters Afterlife isn't made for some of these people that are giving Ghostbusters Afterlife a review that basically puts it in a bad light. It's made for someone like me, who was 6 years old back in 1984 watching the original Ghostbusters. And then, flash forward to the 89 movie, Ghostbusters 2. And again, it was made for, that kid who was 6 years old. Now, flash forward to 1989. I'm 11 years old and I'm watching the movie. It's made for me. It's made for you. It's made for TKO.
Yeah.
It's made for those of us who watched the movies and enjoyed them. Perhaps we even watched, real Ghostbusters and enjoyed that. We played the video games. We bought the toys and, the proton packs, all sorts of stuff. For those of us who enjoyed those movies.
Yeah, and the thing is, go ahead. I'm sorry. I caught you mid sentence. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's right. I saw the 2016 movie, and it made a mockery of the original movie, and it wasn't funny. Ghostbusters wasn't all about comedy. It was horror comedy. That's what made it special.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that sometimes you have to go back to your roots to find what's special. Mm-hmm. And for Ghostbusters, I think that applies, where you'll get people could say, well, you're just revisiting the past. Well, you know what? If they kind of have to revisit the past to start anew and fresh and carry on with good stories, well, I'm fine with that then. If you're saying, well, they're using all this stuff from the original and there's going to be these casts and there's going to be this and that, I don't care. If it breathes new life into Ghostbusters, which you could tell great stories about. Am I saying it should be like, these horror franchises where there's 17 movies in? No. I'm just saying there's enough people who have seen it that are alive that know how fun the movie is. And I'm not a horror person, but I absolutely love Ghostbusters 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I absolutely love those movies. They are fun, they are exciting, they got a jump factor, they got some suspense, they got all these various things in them. And people were
Mm-hmm.
drawn to them, both 1 and 2.
Yeah. Well, it's like I
You know?
watched the first episode of Chucky, Death by Misadventure. It's not the greatest thing I've ever seen, but the main part for me to keep watching it is just to hear Brad Dourif as Chucky again, and just to see what kind of scenarios that Chucky puts people in before he actually ends up killing them.
Yeah. You know? I mean, that's what they did with. They did that with Ash versus Evil Dead, the series. They did it. They're doing it with Cobra Kai, um, because they know that those franchises are stuff that have a fans, a following. They know that if they do it right, and yes, you're using original stuff, but you're either continuing the story or you're taking enough of the original stuff to create a new movie while still being respectful and faithful to the original
Mm-hmm.
source material. This is stuff we grew up with. You know, this is unique to us, by the way, because go back to say the 40s. It was a different time. You didn't have people. You didn't have like these franchises. You had constant one-offers. You had one
Mm-hmm.
movie. So you'd have Gene Kelly. Gene Kelly might make 30 movies, but all 30 movies were entirely different. None of them linked together or anything. You didn't have franchises like you have today. And I think that's what makes this time unique is since we have something new called franchises within within Hollywood, whether in TV or movie, there are followings you get because a lot of people they grew up with that, whether
Mm-hmm.
they watched it as a kid or their father watched it and then showed it to their kid, and that was a way of bonding with their kid over it, whatever the franchise may be. And that's why these things have a lot of a lot of this stuff has sentimental value to it. I don't think people realize this. You know,
I don't
there's a
I
lot of
don't think,
sentimental
and this
stuff
is
that comes.
my opinion. I don't think a lot of these people that are complaining about movies such as Ghostbusters Afterlife, being a bit of nostalgia. I don't think
Uh-huh.
they've gotten to that point in their lives yet where they are nostalgic for things. I don't even know if they've ever had that moment where they're sentimental for something from their past, sentimental for maybe a time they had with their family that was a real good time. I I I don't know. I mean, I remember going to the movie theaters with my family and watching movies, maybe not paying attention to the plot, but just enjoying the fact that here I am with my family at the movies watching the latest release that came out, watching it all together and sharing popcorn, soda, whatever, and then talking about the movie on the drive home.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, God, I remember when I used to record stuff onto tapes and I would listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot. It was usually Pokemon and whatnot. But one time I did the first, I forget however long it was of A New Hope. And my dad and I were going somewhere. This is when I still lived in Georgia as a kid. And I played that. And we listened to the movie like as if it were being played right in front of us. And my dad and I were having laughs and we were talking and whatnot. That's why a big reason why Ninja Turtles has such a deep meaning for me. Going all the
Mm-hmm.
way back to as a kid, that was something my dad and I would sit down and watch together. Because my dad did martial arts as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So he passed that love of martial arts on to me. So that was a way we bonded together. through martial arts. So we would watch martial art movies together. So people could say it's immature for me to still like Ninja Turtles, but it's not just a franchise. It's so much deeper. And I guarantee you'll find tens, or if not hundreds upon thousands of stories like that with various franchises.
Well, just like my father and I, my dad would watch shows like Wings on Discovery, where they would talk about the different aircraft and when they were used and how long they were used for, and we would go to different air shows when they would come to the San Diego area. But one of the things I always enjoyed was going to those air shows and actually meeting people who flew the various aircraft and hearing their experience flying that aircraft, during peacetime, during wartime, and just taking in all that information. And even asking my dad as we're watching different movies, and if it happened to involve a B-17, and asking him, did grandpa ever tell you anything like this occurring? And my dad would either say, to an extent, or say there are certain things your grandfather would never talk about because he didn't want to relive them.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I don't think people fully understand. Because I was watching a live stream yesterday, and they were mocking people who love various franchises too much and take them way too seriously, like the cosplay. And I don't think they realize, some people like that sometimes a lot of this stuff is sentimental as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's ingrained into your heart and soul, the love of this, because of a family member, or maybe that best friend that died. That was something you bonded over.
Mm-hmm.
That you spent all your time growing up doing together, because that was the glue, something you both loved. And that's the thing that I think I feel like that's something that people kind of miss with the whole George Takei, William Shatner thing, is that William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy, they started out together on Star Trek. Star Trek was where the glue was created that forged their bond. And Takei never got to have an experience like that. He never got to have that love and adoration that many of the cast still receive today. And I think he's bitter because he never got that experience. So he takes that bitterness out on others.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong, but I'm just telling you, if his beef is with Shatner, and Nimoy, Nimoy, I honestly think that's why. Is because they have something unique that maybe he wanted, or he wanted to be in on that, and he never got that, and so he's bitter. I think that's part of it, not the whole thing, but I think it is part of it at least.
It's definitely a part of it. It's not the whole picture, but it's definitely a part of the picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to move on from Takai right now.
Yeah, I am. I was getting to the next topic because I'm gonna wrap this up here in a few minutes anyway. And let's see. I gotta find it, but oh yeah, here it is. Duh. Well, this is actually getting back to the Netflix front, and I just found it interesting, so I thought, you know what, I'll talk about it just for the sake of talking about it. So here we go. It says from the Hollywood Reporter, Netflix picks up Studio Ghibli's Earwig and The Witch for all markets outside US and Japan. The film, directed by Ghibli Sion Gore, I'm not even going to attempt the last name. I'm just going to say Gore, joins 21 other titles Netflix has licensed from the fabled studio for international markets. Netflix has added to its large pool of licensed content from Japan's Studio Ghibli, picking up the legendary anime house's most recent feature, Earwig and the Witch, like the 21 other Studio Ghibli titles that have been in Netflix stable since last year. The streamer has rights to the new feature for all territories around the world except the US and Japan. HBO Max has the US streaming rights to the new film, along with the rest of Ghibli's catalog. First released on Japanese television in 2020, Earwig and the Witch is directed by Gore. Like I said, I'm not going to say the last name because I'm just going to end up butchering it. Although I am going to give it an attempt, just one. Miyazaki. I hope I'm saying that right. And if I'm not, I'm sure someone's going to correct me in the comments. Son of studio founder Hiro Miyazaki, and based on the novel of the same name by Diana Wynne Jones. The film tells the story of a headstrong young girl who grew up in an orphanage, and her life changes dramatically when a strange couple takes her in and she is forced to live with a selfish witch. We're thrilled that our film Earwig and the Witch will reach many countries and territories through Netflix, said Gore Miyazaki in a statement. The film is Studio Ghibli's first fully 3D CGI film, which prompted us with an exciting challenge to reflect the spirit and pride of our studio using this new art form. Though that experience, Through that experience, we met Earwig, our rebellious protagonist who grows up to overcome difficulties with her wits, relentless energy. We hope you will come to love our Earwig just like you enjoyed spending time with the main characters in our last 21 films. Or Yukubang, I probably said that wrong, and I do apologize. Director of animation film at Netflix added, we're incredibly fortunate to continue expanding the Studio Ghibli film lineup on Netflix by streaming Earwig and the Witch. The highly anticipated new film of Goro Miyazaki will bring a fresh perspective to the widely popular Studio Ghibli films in countries and territories where we stream Studio Ghibli films, excluding US and Japan. 55 million households have chosen to watch a Studio Ghibli film on Netflix since 2020, and that number will only continue to grow. We've been blown away by the positive reactions from viewers everywhere, proving that stories can come from anywhere and can be loved everywhere. Earwig and the Witch will release on Netflix in its dedicated markets November 18th. The film will be made available to Netflix subscribers around the world in over 30 languages. So there we see Netflix acquiring another anime. This time it's from a well-known anime studio, Studio Ghibli, who have been around for a while. So what do you guys think about, another streaming service picking up an anime because they're seeing pretty much where the waves are going?
Um, I mean, Netflix. If you actually watch Netflix, they actually have a pretty decently sized recent. Fuck. They have a pretty good sized anime lineup already. Now I'm not saying it's all original content or anything like that, but Netflix picking up an anime. Again, like with Netflix, I really couldn't care as much just because, again, like what we talked about earlier with the whole cuties thing. It's like, great, you picked up an anime. Like, what do you want? Like a trophy or something?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, maybe that's kind of sounding narcissistic some, but again, it's hard for me to care a whole lot about Netflix. I mean, only time I would really genuinely care about Netflix is if they actually got their shit together with, you know, removing cuties,
Yeah.
you know, and stuff like that. You know, and again, you can say I'm hung up on cuties. Yes. Yes, I am very hung up on cuties because that is like the kind of stuff people get arrested for because they have that kind of stuff found on their hard drives, and you can go to Netflix and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for me to care about if Netflix does anything good or bad. It's just it's hard for me at this point because I'm still hung up on that one thing, and that one thing is still there.
Yeah.
And
And
you know,
the nice thing for us here in the States is we do have an alternative to watch this film if we want to watch it. We can go to HBO Max and watch it. We
yeah,
don't have
exactly.
to go to Netflix in order to watch this film. And the more, companies like Warner Brothers and a few others decide to put animes on platforms other than Netflix, that'll be great for all of us. I mean, I know a lot of people have told me, well, you can find a lot of anime on Hulu. You can find a lot of anime by, subscribing to Funimation and being able to watch, all the anime shows that they're licensed to. I know Funimation has its issues. I understand that. But if you choose to go the Funimation route, I'm not going to, look up at you and, stick my nose up at you is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I get where you're coming from there. You know, I mean, I watch right now. My main anime source right now is Hulu. They got a pretty good selection right now. You know, they got eight or nine different Gundam series. You know, they got Food Wars. They got Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood. They got Claymore. So Hulu's got a pretty good anime game. Now, I ain't saying they're coming out with their own, unique stuff, but Hulu's got a pretty good anime catalog right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, like Netflix is Netflix a very big name because they were the first real company in entertainment streaming. You know, and that's why they're so prolific because they were pretty much the founder of it. If you look at it from that aspect, I just again you picked up a movie, you picked whatever, it's again. I mean, I think I made my thoughts pretty clear on where I stand with
You did.
Netflix and
You did.
how I don't give two shits. But I mean, hey, if you are somebody who does like Netflix, Mazel tov, great, and enjoy. You know, I don't understand what the movie's about, but great.
And I have an HBO Max subscription, but I haven't really delved too deep into what's available to see as far as what they have when it comes to anime. But I may just start doing that.
Yeah, I need to get one. I got one when for the Snyder cut, and then I got rid of it not long after. But yeah, I mean, HBO Max I would definitely support again, based on my very limited experience with it. I don't even know if HBO has anime on it.
Like I said, I have to look and see, and if I find any, of course I'm going to check them out. Whether I like them or not, well, that'll be another thing.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's like I keep asking, am I going to go to the theater to see Dune when it comes out, or am I going to watch it on HBO Max? Avoid the hassle of getting out into traffic and getting to the movie theaters and spending ticket on a movie when I'm already spending $15 a month for HBO Max. So it's not like they didn't get my money.
Yeah,
Uh,
I have heard on the Dune thing though from those that have seen it, they have said
mhm.
do not watch on HBO Max. It's not the same experience. Find as big of a screen, preferably IMAX, to see it on because the way the movie's filmed, the sounds, the music, everything, it you get the best experience in the theater with Dune and that's from Gary and others that I've heard who have actually seen it. They said HBO Max will like you could watch it there, but you're missing out on the true experience if you watch it there. So
Yeah, the only thing that I
take
had
that for what
seen
you will.
is Chris Gore said he had watched it on HBO Max because he's part of the press and everything, part of that
Hmm.
Hollywood line of ins and outs. And he said, he enjoyed it, but he didn't feel like he got the full experience by watching it at home.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna find an IMAX theater and watch it on it because the last movie I saw in theaters was Fast Nine. That was the last movie I saw in theaters, and before then was Rise of Skywalker with my best friend, and that was just because we were again fulfilling our pact that we made together. Um, but yeah, Fast Nine was the last one I saw, which was beginning of July. So Dune actually makes me want to go out to see it in a theater. So that's just me again. That's just me. So
Yeah. There's no problem with that. I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, in my town we have a movie theater. It's a small movie theater, so they can only play one movie, but I can guarantee you if I see that Dune's on their marquee, I'm gonna get on my bike and ride down to the movie theater since I don't have to worry about getting into the car. I can just take my bike and go see it. That's how close it is to me.
yeah, well,
Now,
I mean
now
that's always a good thing.
if I wanted to, I could, go out and go to the beach where we do have a movie theater that has 10 auditoriums and go see it. But I think what I might do with that is I might hear, more reviews on it before I make my final decision whether I'm going to go out and see it. Because a part of me does want to see it, but a part of me doesn't want to be let down, especially with everything that we've gotten in terms of entertainment.
Mm, I mean, I get the skepticism for sure. I really do. Um, I think the way I look at it is that from my perspective is that I want to because I don't always have the free time to go see a movie. So if there is a movie that I'm debating seeing in theaters, if I have like say a day where I'm not doing anything, you know what? I probably will go see it in a theater because I'm very old. I'm still very old school. Where if there's a movie I want to see and it's in movie theaters, I'm gonna go see it in movie theaters because I still want to support a local business.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is that because of a certain unknown microbe that came to prominence last year, um, movie theaters have been hit very, very hard. A lot closed down, probably never reopened.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to support local theater. So if I'm on the if I'm like, straddling, well, do I see it? Do I not see it? The wanting to support local business usually will tip me over to I'm going to go see it. If I don't like it, I can always preach and say I don't like it, but at least I can know I helped a local business and help the people in my community have a living, at least, if nothing else.
Yeah, and that's one of the
So,
reasons why if our small theater that we have in town here is playing it, that I want to go support them because they're not owned by a corporation. It's a family-owned business,
hmm,
and if I see that it's playing in our downtown theater, I'm gonna go to the theater and watch it.
yeah. Well, yeah, I like it. I like it.
So I think on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. I want to thank you, Common Sense, for coming on. I want to thank TKO for coming on for the brief time he came on, and have to do this again.
Yeah, for sure.
Because every week it seems like Hollywood's coming out with something that we can talk about, and something that we can just shake our heads about, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. Hope you liked what you saw. If you did like what you saw, give this video a thumbs up. If you didn't like what you saw, or you didn't like what you heard for any reason, give it a thumbs down. Leave a comment in the comment section below. And of course, all the links are down in the description. And don't forget to subscribe to the Pacific414 YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you all. Take care.
Later.